Hello and welcome to everybody tuning in to the YouTube stream. It's good to have you in here with us today. We have over 100 Trump supporters lined up to have a conversation with about their support for the administration. In fact, we already have our first Trump supporter, Mr. Bruce, on the line. So, Mr. B, take it away. Tell us why you support the current administration. Actually, I take that back. Can I ask you a question?
Well, this is why.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
I
got plenty of shit.
Oh,
too.
wait. Actually, no. Let's talk about this. So I want you to read that off for us.
Yeah. So India-Pakistan ceasefire appears to hold after accusations of violations. So it sounds like liberals were accusing that it wasn't holding. But this was posted. When was this posted? 12 hours ago.
Hey, man, do you think that the Trump administration had any involvement with the achievement of a ceasefire between India and Pakistan?
Absolutely.
So J.D. Vance is quoted as saying, and I quote, that the U.S. has fundamentally no involvement with India and Pakistan.
We don't want to get involved in the war. Absolutely.
Yeah, so they had no involvement in the ceasefire.
No, they have involvement in the ceasefire.
J.D. Vance said they didn't.
No, he said we don't want to get involved in the war, and so did Trump.
What was their involvement in achieving that ceasefire?
You want me to pull up that video? Would you like me to?
What was America's involvement in the India-Pakistan ceasefire?
To sanction them if they continue what they're doing.
To sanction
and that's
who?
what happened.
Obviously not sanction India. Wasn't Trump just boasting about achieving a totally free trade agreement with India?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Wasn't Trump just boasting about achieving a totally free trade agreement with India?
Yeah, what was that before?
Seemingly that's like the opposite of a sanction.
Was that before this war?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know too much about India and Pakistan, but what I do know is that that's been an achievement boasted by Trump.
So
Can you show me where Trump has made a statement about wanting to sanction India if they don't let off?
Yeah, so that was before this war. But yeah, once they went to war, they said you're going to be heavily sanctioned if you continue this bloodshed.
Okay, for sure. I just personally haven't seen that. Could you show that quote to me?
Yeah. Yeah. I can look everything up for you. Actually, okay, I actually got everything up here for you. I got gas prices. You guys like to talk shit on that. I got the prescription. I don't know how you guys can talk shit on the.
Yeah. So could you just show me where he said that he was going to heavily sanction them?
Yeah. So I'll just go to Google here, handy dandy Google, and I'll type it in. Did Trump threaten sanctions on India and Pakistan to stop war and create ceasefire? Yes. According to recent reports, Donald Trump claimed he threatened to cut off trade with India and Pakistan to force a ceasefire and stop a potential nuclear conflict.
So you're reading an AI overview on Google. Could you give me the source?
You know what's crazy? That all these AI, whatever you just called it, AI, what would you call it?
An AI overview?
Yeah, so all these AI overviews have sources connected to them.
So then what is it?
Here, we can click on these. You want to watch a video?
Before we begin, let me say a few words about the historic events that took place over.
Isn't this the guy who can't speak, or was that Biden? Sorry.
The last few days.
So I think it's Trump.
On Saturday, my administration helped broker a full.
Do you see a teleprompter anywhere, by the way? No, you don't.
An immediate ceasefire, I think a permanent one, between India and Pakistan, ending a dangerous conflict of two nations with lots of nuclear weapons. And they were going at it hot and heavy, and it was seemingly not going to stop. And I'm very proud to let you know that the leadership of India and Pakistan was unwavering, powerful, but unwavering in both cases. Having these, they really were, from the standpoint of having the strength and the wisdom and fortitude to fully know and to understand the gravity of the situation. And we helped a lot. And we also with trade. I said, come on, we're going to do a lot of trade with you guys. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. If you stop it, we're doing trade. If you don't stop it, we're not going to do any trade. People have never really used trade
So what's that mean when you're not going to do any trade with someone if you don't stop a conflict?
the way I used it. That I can tell you. And all of
Maybe Biden should take a page out of Trump's playbook, and maybe we wouldn't be in this mess with Russia and Ukraine.
Biden, one second.
Hey,
Bruce.
An idiot.
Did you know that Biden announced and held sanctions on Russia throughout the entirety of his administration?
Yeah, obviously it didn't work.
Well, okay, so if sanctions would work or not work on Russia, why are we expected to believe that an apparent threat of sanctions that we have no proof of, that is only spoken about for less than 2 sentences after the fact by Trump, who told over 30,000 confirmed lies during his first presidency, alongside the biggest lie ever told by a president with his denial of the outcome of 2020, would work in less than 48 hours?
People don't respect Biden, simply. You can't speak a simple sentence.
World leaders have a significant higher amount of respect for Biden and Kamala Harris than they have for Trump.
You believe that?
Yeah, my evidence of this is a fact that
why do you believe that?
Yeah, that we've seen a UN Rights Council laugh at Trump to his face. Never seen that for Biden or Harris. We've leaked Kremlin documents from Putin where he calls Trump easy to manipulate. Never seen that about Biden or Harris. We've also seen other world leaders like Donald Tusk or Macron of France posting videos laughing at Donald Trump on Twitter. Never seen them do that to Biden or Harris.
So I've never seen any of those videos. I've seen people literally put all eyes on Trump, and people completely ignore Biden and Kamala Harris. That's what I've seen.
All eyes on Trump and ignore Harris? Well, I mean, yeah, definitely everybody has eyes on the president of America. I don't understand what this means.
Yeah. What it means is the previous president. Sorry. What it means is the previous president couldn't form an articulate sentence.
Kickstart your career.
The previous president couldn't form an articulate sentence. Okay, here's how I feel about this. So first and foremost, Biden never.
Yeah, that's why he got kicked out of.
Hey, Bruce, do you mind if you let me speak here, man? I'd really appreciate it if you allow me to respond to what you said. Is that fair?
Sure.
Thank you so much, Bruce. I appreciate that. So first and foremost, I think that it's worth denoting that Biden didn't end up running. Kamala Harris did. Kamala Harris was significantly more coherent than Trump. That's an undeniable fact. Second claim is that although Biden was a little bit incoherent because of his older age, I'll take the old man that's a little bit incoherent, that is good policy, that is beneficial for the American people, over the old man that is completely delusional, that can't distinguish between what's true and false, that is an active fascist, that wants to consolidate power to one branch of government, wants to ignore courts, including the Supreme Court, that passes policy that's detrimental for the American people. You know, it's like your biggest critique of Biden is his stutter. My biggest critique of Trump is the fact that he's a 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist, that is deploying all 14 tenets of fascism and actively redistributing wealth from the poor to the rich.
All right, so you said a lot there. You guys project a lot on your side, said we're going to see empty shelves and crazy inflation. Only time I saw that was with Biden. You say 34 felonies for hush money for paying a girl who he had sexual things with to be quiet because he's in an election that happened 2 years before that election. So why would she wait until election time to speak about it? Obviously, because she wanted money out of him. Yeah, I got no problem with Trump. Trump is a much better president. And I got more facts if you want to back it up. But I can also show this video of Biden about stuttering.
Bruce, do you mind if I ask you what your obsession with Biden is? Like, Biden didn't even end up running for the presidency.
President for 4 years.
I have an idea. Can I respond to the last 3 claims that you made?
Maybe it's because I got fucked with average gas prices.
Hey, Bruce,
for
I
years.
want to respond to one thing that you just said there. Are you ready?
Average $6.40.
So you said,
That's why.
Hey, Bruce,
like
I would
Biden.
really appreciate it if you'd let me ask you 2 questions.
Well, you asked me the question. What do I have infatuated with
for
Biden?
Sure,
right
I'm gonna ask you 2 follow-up questions because that's how a debate works.
We'll ask one at a time.
Earlier, you said that Biden caused inflation. How did Biden cause inflation? And now you're saying that Biden caused higher gas prices. How did Biden cause higher gas prices?
All right, so we're going to do one at a time. So which one do you want to do first?
Well, I mean, increasing gas prices can be defined as inflation.
All right, well, I guess we can just do the inflation thing first. So when you tell a whole country to shut down and don't allow small businesses to thrive and keep people in the mindset of staying unemployed and collecting a check and further pushing this C-19 thing that didn't have to be pushed. We should have opened the economy. That's how inflation goes up. On top of funding a $350 billion, which is probably pretty minuscule, but expecting nothing back. By the way, Trump got a rare minerals deal to get our money back. That
You can
was
talk
stolen
about the rare minerals
by
deal next.
the-
I want
that
you to
was
specifically
stolen by this
tell
fuck
me
right
how
here.
Biden caused inflation.
So
Stay on
I just
topic.
did. I just did.
Okay, so your claim is that
And
Biden
I'm just naming shit off for you.
So your claim is that Biden caused inflation by having the whole country shut down. Business shutdowns caused by the pandemic were under Trump in 2020 and 2021.
And that was the start, yeah. And that was the start of it. But to continue it for the next 2 years was bullshit.
No, they didn't continue for the next 2 years. In fact,
Yeah.
by the time Biden
Yeah.
had gained the presidency,
When did
do you mind
are
if you
in
do you mind
college,
if you
right?
let me speak? I'd really appreciate
No,
it.
you've been
if you-
speaking this whole time.
No, in
So if
fact,
you
I
wanna have a
haven't been
debate-
speaking this whole time, Bruce. I'm
wanna
disproving
have
you,
a
and you're mad
debate,
about that. So
let's
I
have
would,
one.
if you want to have a debate,
Well,
then you have to be
how
able
long
to
have
let me
you been in
respond to your
college,
claims. I'd
Dean?
really appreciate it.
You're still probably taking some online classes at some
So
point
this is
right
what we
now.
call a pivot, Bruce. Hey, man,
Or
I
fully
understand that you're
online.
freaking out because you're losing the debate.
This is
Am I gonna
not
have
a
to put you on
pivot.
mute?
This is not a pivot. Of course you're going to put me on mute.
I'm asking you if I have to. Like, I will put you on mute if you can just
have
let me
to
speak.
because you won't let my point come across. That's why. Because
Well,
you don't like my point.
so
Because it
specifically-
completely abolishes whatever you got to say.
So you're making a claim about me in college. I don't understand how that relates to your claim that Biden
Well, maybe
caused
you're not
inflation or
thinking
business
straight.
shutdowns.
My original claim.
So I'm
was
ready,
when you-
Bruce. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to.
Yeah. My
Be quiet.
original
5,
claim is when you promote
4,
people to not work
3,
and stay online
Okay,
and
he's
stay
done.
home,
Elijah, thank you for the shout.
not go to actual work and collect unemployment. That's how the economy crashes. And that's what Biden did. You want me to pull that up? About him saying isolate?
I already have the.
Should I pull up
unemployment
how
rate
he said
from Fred
isolate in
pulled
your
up
homes and don't go to
alongside new
work and
jobs.
don't spread COVID?
Bruce, let me know when you're done grandstanding.
Okay, so give me about 20 seconds and I'll be finished. So when Biden said isolate, when he said don't go to work, when he said stop the spread, even though Dr. Anthony Fauci said masks do nothing, social distancing does nothing, in his 4-hour interview in late 2024, that was all bullshit. That was pushed by this dude here to close down our economy for years. That's how inflation started.
Okay, just let me know when I could respond, man.
No, I'm done.
Sweet. So actually, what you're saying about jobs, unemployment, and jobs added to the economy under Biden's administration is demonstrably false, and that's the issue with your argument. You could happily go to Google, type in unemployment rate in America, FRED, click on the first.
Here's the
circular-
inflation rate, bud. Even
Bruce,
better.
am I gonna have to mute you?
No.
Okay, then I'm gonna ask you to not interrupt me while I speak, the same way I just allowed you to finish. Seriously, act your age, man. So now I'm gonna have to restart, Bruce. I want you to listen closely to what I'm saying. Are you ready to listen closely to what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you're saying that the Biden administration caused inflation in America by reducing employment and keeping people out of their work. That claim is simply not true. In fact, at the peak of the pandemic, business shutdowns were ushered under Donald Trump's administration.
Beginning.
In April, Bruce, I'm going to put you on mute now. You are now muted, and you are expected to listen until I'm finished speaking. The peak of business shutdowns caused by the pandemic were under Donald Trump's administration in April of 2020 at 14.8%. And then guess what? When Biden got into office in January of 2021, unemployment was at 6.1%. And then a mere year later, we then had 50-year record low levels of unemployment at 3.4%.
Everyone had to work 3
any
jobs.
low level of unemployment that was produced and or held under the Trump administration. So when you sit here and tell me that it was Biden who produced unemployment and that is what caused inflation, we actually had the demonstrably fastest drops in unemployment that we've ever seen in this country. And a lot of that can be attributed to the bounce back from the pandemic, not to Biden. Okay, but your claim is that Biden kept the unemployment high. No, we had the demonstrably fastest drop in unemployment in America ever, as well as we had 2 50-year record lows, lower than what was ever observed under the Trump administration. And if your claim is that it's these business shutdowns in which ushered in inflation into America, well, then you'll have to say that the most inflation was ushered into this country under Trump's administration, caused by the highest level of unemployment we've seen in America since the Great Depression at 14.8%. during April of 2020, with the only demonstrably higher point of unemployment existing in America at the peak of the Great Depression.
Are you done with your
Additionally,
monologue?
if we want to consider jobs added to the American economy by the presidents ignoring COVID, Biden added more jobs month by month to the American economy, completely ignoring bounce back jobs from COVID, as well as completely ignoring the jobs lost by the pandemic under Trump's term.
Okay.
So I want to make it clear.
Monologue?
So it's not a monologue. If you need me to draw this out on polka dot paper with a crayon, I'd be happy to.
All right. So read this right here. In April 2025, 8.8 million people. This figure reached the highest level since the start of the pandemic, accounting to 5.4% had to work multiple jobs. So yeah, when inflation is through the roof, as you can see right here, with this graph right here, when inflation is through the roof, of course employment's going to be high, or you're going to die of starvation. So that whole monologue that you just spilled for 2 minutes was debunked in about fucking 15 seconds.
Wait, can you debunk it again? I'm not sure if you debunked it.
Yeah, so when people have to work multiple jobs, of course employment is going to go up.
How do you think the unemployment rate is calculated?
So let me finish.
No, tell me how you think the unemployment rate is calculated.
Right? So the employment rate, they're working multiple jobs. And secondly, it's because the inflation, as you can see here from a very, very, very fucking credible source, was up your ass.
Hey, Bruce, how is the unemployment rate calculated?
They take the population of people who are able to work here in America and probably divide it by the people who are able to work who are working in America.
Okay, so you're almost right. It's actually the amount of unemployed individuals that are able to work divided by the total labor force, then of course multiplied by 100 to get the percentage. Now, the issue with this is you're telling me the reason why we had demonstrably low levels of unemployment in America under the Biden-Harris administration was because individuals were working multiple jobs. That implies if you're a person working more than one job,
That's
that
what
you
Google
account
says.
for. Bruce, you're telling me that is somehow relevant to the calculation of the unemployment rate. It doesn't matter if somebody's working one job or 5 jobs, as long as they have a job and they're not unemployed. That is what is calculated insofar as the American unemployment rate. And then additionally, you actually didn't debunk what I said. You could just kind of explain jobs bouncing back from COVID. That's all.
Okay, so here's my response.
Once again, Bruce, I'm almost
here's
done.
a response.
Once again, your claim is that
Muting,
he kept people.
You can't do that.
Bruce, because I'm still speaking. Your claim is that Biden kept people
Can't do that
unemployed.
in real life, but
Bruce, I'm still speaking. Your claim is that Biden kept people unemployed, right?
I want to respond to your first point right now.
We're just going to clear this up. Yes or no? Your claim is that
Yeah,
Biden
I want to
kept
clear it
people
up. Yes.
Bruce, so your claim, yes or no, is that Biden kept people unemployed, correct?
I'm not doing yes or no's.
Okay, well then leave. Because if you're not going to engage in my argument, you better go find another space to exist.
Well,
in that
you
chamber and
don't
need
actually want to
pushback
have
from
an
somebody else.
intellectual debate. You're
Bruce,
not
that's you. You're the
detailed
one
type
that's
of guy.
denying to engage in a
You're not a
conversation.
detailed type of guy, are you?
We don't need to be detailed when you're affirming or denying the
Yeah.
proposition of your claim. It's
So
just
I
simply
want to
is this your argument?
respond to your original thing.
I just want to, we're going to make this super simplistic because I want to make it incredibly clear. But you don't want to, okay, here's the issue with you, Bruce. You know that what you're talking is complete, total bullshit. And I want to make it incredibly clear to everybody listening that what you're saying is complete and total bullshit. And I can make it so clear with 3 questions. And the reason you want to answer the questions is because you don't want me to clarify. So I'll clarify it for you without the input of yourself. What I will simply ask you for is 30 seconds where you're not interrupted me so I could clarify it. Your original claim is that Biden kept unemployment high, and that is what caused inflation. I disproved the claim.
Bruce.
Bruce, are you going to interrupt?
Legend Bruce.
So are you a legend? Are you a W? Because you're.
I mean, that's what they're
just
saying.
Symbolizing what you're saying is wrong, and with 30 seconds.
Yeah, and you won't even let me respond to you. That's how scared you are.
You could respond in 30 seconds. That's all. That's all.
Yeah,
Bruce.
absolutely.
If you're winning the debate, how come you don't want me to be able to expose to everyone?
No,
watching
I
what
can
you're saying is
respond in
wrong?
20 seconds. Yeah.
You have to wait until I'm finished speaking so you know what to respond to. That's all, Bruce.
You already brought it up, and you never let me.
No, of course.
respond.
I want to be able to make it incredibly clear what I'm saying.
Oh, it's so clear.
It's not.
So clear.
It's not clear at all, Bruce. I'm gonna need 30 seconds here, man. If you can't give me 30 seconds, it's because you don't want me to expose to everybody listening why you're wrong. You want to keep the W Bruces in the chat. That's why you don't want me to talk. That's it. Yeah, everybody. The reason why he doesn't want to let me talk is because he wants to keep the W Bruces in the chat. Give me 30 seconds, and then I'm going to let you be able to speak. Calm down and give me 30 seconds, Bruce. Your original claim is that Biden caused inflation by keeping unemployment in America high. I disprove the claim that Biden caused inflation by keeping unemployment in America high by demonstrating that unemployment actually reached two 50-year lows under his administration, and we had the demonstrably quickest and fastest drops in the unemployment rate in America under his administration. And then you think that you exposed, debunked, and ridiculed this claim by merely arguing that a lot of the drop of the unemployment rate that we experienced under the Biden-Harris administration can be attributed to the pandemic, not to Biden. The reason that does not debunk my counter argument is because A, I agree with you, and then B, you're still not rejecting that unemployment was not high. You're actually justifying why unemployment went low. So in fact, you're justifying a counter argument to your own position.
To be honest, in all honesty, I just wanted to respond to this unemployment that you said if someone works 5 jobs, it doesn't actually help the unemployment rate. Sure, yeah, I agree. But when people have been sitting on their ass collecting a check and now all of a sudden they got to go back to work, of course it's going to, and we're in a global pandemic, of course the unemployment rate is going to drop.
Yeah, you're justifying a counter argument to your own position because you're the one that argued that Biden made it ensure that it didn't drop. Yeah, because you're the one that argued that Biden kept it high, but now you're justifying that it dropped.
What do you mean? He did keep it high.
You just said that it dropped because of a bounce back from the pandemic.
Because he finally had to open the economy at some point. We can't just stay closed.
It started.
He kept it closed for 2 years.
Not true. It started dropping the day he walked into office. Search up unemployment rate, Fred, U.S. You'll see that it demonstrably started dropping the day he walked into office. January 2021, 6.4%. Less than a year later, it was cut in half. You're lying.
I don't think you understand my main point here is that Donald Trump had to close it because it was the beginning of the pandemic. 8 months later, Joe Biden still kept it closed and continued to keep it closed years and years into his presidency and encouraged people to isolate, encouraged kids to wear a mask at school, even though they really don't want to. And it's not good for social, whatever's going on socially with the younger generation. And on top of that, most of these kids, and the reason I asked if you were in college is because you remember having to take asynchronous classes or classes on Zoom. That's why all that stuff I asked has exactly to do with my point.
Okay, the refutation to your point is that you're spreading misinformation. The day Biden walked into office was January of 2021. The unemployment rate on the day Biden walked into office was 6.4%. Your claim is that Biden kept that unemployment rate high for years following. However, that is not true. If you search up unemployment rate US FRED on Google, you will find a stark contrast to your claim, that is that the unemployment rate dropped in America subsequently every single month following January, the month of his inauguration, and less than a year and a half later, the unemployment rate had been cut in half, and we then experienced a 50-year low level rate of unemployment. So the data completely contradicts your claims.
Are you bragging that it got super high and then somehow it got? That's the same.
I'm stating that the data completely contradicts the claims that you're making. In fact, the unemployment rate went lower in the first 2 years of his administration.
I mean, let's pull up the unemployment rate.
Do it. Once again, search up FRD, unemployment rate, U.S. America.
So here's around where it should be, like down here, right? So for years, it was still way above this. So you're bragging about how it came down. It should come down. It should come down.
Right. And what you're showing is it coming down. Good job, Bruce.
It should. Yes, it should. It has to come down.
Right. So then you're just justifying once again.
How many years was this?
Because Bruce, like, remember, once again, your original claim is that it didn't go down.
So March 2020.
Now you're saying that it went down because it had to go down. You're disproving your own
like
claim.
I said, 2 years. 2 years for it to what's normal unemployment? Do you know? 4%.
Around 4.
So 2 years. It took 2 years.
Sir, what was the level?
That's why the economy.
Hey,
for
sir,
2 years,
I have a question. What was the level?
For 2 years, we didn't get back to normal
Hey,
unemployment.
Bruce, we just agreed that the normal level.
That's
Bruce,
what I'm saying.
Hey, Bruce, your claim is that it took 2 years to get back to a normal level of unemployment. You defined
right here,
Bruce. You told us it took 2 years to get back to a normal level of unemployment, and then you claimed that a normal level of unemployment was 4%. Can we agree that that Biden was inaugurated in January of 2021?
Yes, absolutely.
Would the data on your screen tell me what the level of unemployment was in January of 2022?
6.4
Nope, not true.
was 21.
What was 2022?
4%.
Thank
so
you.
it took him a year. Not two. Wait, you're laughing? You think a year is good though? You think it takes a year? That's it. Okay.
Oh my God, Bruce.
All right. So
Oh my
now you're really
fucking
gonna
God.
look like a 14 because who dropped it at a faster
First of all,
rate?
thank you so much for the nice star. I do appreciate it.
Looking at this graph,
I appreciate that.
Who is dropping at a faster rate? So this is when Biden got into office. Right here, this slow, stagnant fucking line right here that slightly goes down. Who is dropping it at a faster rate?
So the fast
This
rate
was
that
all
you're
Trump.
referencing and the unemployment rate
This
before
was
Biden's
Trump right
inauguration
here.
was literally the reversal of business shutdowns.
So this was Trump dropping it at a very fast rate.
That was the
compared to
reversal of
Biden.
business shutdowns. I wouldn't expect anything
This is
different.
Biden. What looks like a faster drop to you?
The fastest drop was immediately experienced after the reversal of business shutdowns.
Well, I see it as, you said January, right? January 21? Or let's just do literally when he was president-elect.
Wait,
It
I have a
literally
question.
started.
I'm just looking at the graph on your screen. Do you think the majority of inflation experienced in America was a result of the highest level of unemployment that was caused by the pandemic under Donald Trump's administration?
Well, let's not pivot here real quick.
No, this isn't a pivot.
I want to do this real quick.
Bruce, your original claim was that Biden caused
Well,
inflation.
now you're pivoting because I want to hit this first, and
Bruce,
then we can pivot.
I'm not.
I want to hit this first.
I'm sorry, I'm muting you because you're just yelling. You're pivoting. But I'm not pivoting.
Well, no, I just want to finish this first, and
Bruce,
then we can talk about
Bruce,
a different thing.
This is not a different thing. Hearts, I appreciate you with Galaxy. You're starting.
Okay, well, I want to go over this specific topic
Bruce,
before we move on.
We are going over this specific topic. You're really starting to annoy me, Bruce. If you would just let me speak. Your claim is that Biden caused inflation by unemployment. So in other words, you're saying that unemployment equals inflation, right?
Partly.
Okay. Well,
I named 4 or 5 other things.
Actually, first and foremost, unemployment actually equals deflation. I'll explain how. Okay. The reason unemployment equals deflation is because inflation is when the equilibrium price of a good goes up, with the equilibrium price of a good being controlled by supply and demand.
Yeah,
there's a significantly lower level of demand.
You're leaving something out, though, Dean.
Bruce,
it's very important for the average
allow me to
person to
finish
understand.
speaking?
No, because you're very manipulative.
Okay, if you're not going to allow me to finish speaking, I'm going to force you to allow me to finish speaking.
So at first,
We'll wait.
Inflation. Then
We'll wait for Bruce.
major inflation.
We'll wait for him to finish his thing.
Yeah,
let him finish his tantrum, everybody.
So you cut me.
Yeah,
You cut me off.
I am. Because you're interrupting.
Okay.
That's all. It's pretty simple.
You interrupted. Said I want to.
Let him finish the thing.
You can't do this in real life. You can't mute.
Yeah, good thing this isn't real life. It'd
You
be a lot more annoying if it could be.
Sorry, bud.
It would be
Sorry.
significantly more annoying if we were talking in person, because then I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to forcefully assert
No,
boundaries.
dude, anything about it. You're right.
How long is he going to keep it up?
You're right. W. Bruce. Let's go.
Bruce, the reason why I'm doing this is because I was in the middle of explaining how you were wrong once it was my turn to have the mic, and then you cut me off 4 words in.
You cut me 10 minutes before.
We'll wait till the tantrum finishes. I don't know, guys. We'll maybe give it like another 30 seconds for the tantrum to finish. And if the tantrum doesn't finish in the next 30 seconds, you're right, Bruce. In a debate, don't interrupt people when they've allowed you to speak, and then they get the mic. That's all.
Good debater.
We'll wait.
You're not. You are not a good debater.
Good job. That was actually pretty clean, Bruce. Okay, a lot of people in the chat are spamming Discord. What's going on in the Discord? At Dean, he follows really young children and posts videos of his dogs.
Yeah, go follow for follow.
Do you follow really young
go
children?
look at my profile.
Do you follow really young children and post videos of your dogs fucking?
Go look at my profile. Of my dogs fucking. I have 2 female dogs. Are you fucking stupid? And 2 females fuck. And yeah, in my bio it literally says follow for follow. So no, I don't really look at the age of whom I'm following. I just follow random fucking people. It's pretty simple.
That is a little girl. Goodbye. Moving on to the next guess.
Hello?
So anyways, you asked if 2 females can engage in intercourse. The answer to your question is yes. Okay. And I bet you make a lot of people happy that 2 females can engage in intercourse. You make a lot of people really happy that they can do that. Yeah, that's true. Hello, Destin. How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. Do you support the MAGA administration?
I mean, I support both institutions, but this past election I voted for Trump, yes.
Okay, phenomenal. Before we get into our debate, I got a couple people to thank here. Cass, thank you for the $13 super chat over on YouTube. Cass says, you inspire me to challenge my MAGA family. Let's go, Cass. That's awesome. Everybody show some love to Cass down below in the chat for the $13, as well as Jesus with a $5 over on YouTube super chat, Traceless with a 10, Danessa with a 5, and Pibless with a 5, as well as Pickled Tickler, what a name, with the $30 super chat over on YouTube saying, go get yourself a pizza, Dean, after this MAGA. I'll eat some pizza tonight. I want to see 300 pickled W's down below in the comment section for the $30 donation. Thank you so much for the love, Pickles. Let's go, dude. As well as Jesse with a $5 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Jesse. That is incredibly kind of you. And oh my God, Sarah with a $250 donation on PayPal. Oh my God, Sarah, dude, I want to get 15 minutes of W Sarahs down below in all of the live chats right now. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Sarah. That is so much fucking money. I do not deserve that. Everybody, seriously, please show some love to Sarah in the TikTok chat, in the YouTube chat right the fuck now. Thank you so much for the love, Sarah. What the fuck? As well as Marianne with the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Let's show some love to Sarah and Marianne down below in that comment section right now. Holy W's, holy base, Sarah and Marianne. Thank you both so much. That is insane. That is literally so kind, guys. Thank you so much for the love. Shout out and so much love to Sarah and Marianne. Thank you guys so much for the love. Dustin, while we're all showing love to Sarah and Marianne, take it away. Tell us why you support the Trump administration.
Well, it's kind of simple. I grew up largely raised around Democrats. My grandmother ran the Democrat chair in the city and county we're in. She ran for office in Democrat, and when people like you say that illegals can't vote, illegals aren't allowed to vote, I strongly disagree because I've watched Democrats, registered illegal immigrants, to vote. And I will tell you how they do it. Very easily. They walk up to these houses and they'll say, hey, would you like to vote in the next election? Mary Sue, who lives in this house, says, yeah, sure. Okay. Are you a U.S. citizen? No? Okay, that's not an issue. We'll get that figured out. I want you to fill out your name, your address, They take the application back. 6 to 8 months later, their absentee ballot gets sent to the House. Their person that registers them goes, picks up the absentee ballot, fills it out, submits it.
So did you know that what you're describing is not only incredibly illegal because of a bill passed through Congress in 1994, but also incredibly irregular, atypical, and unlikely to occur? So this
Happens all over
follows as a
Indiana.
result of the 2020 election. There was 8.2 million registered voters in Georgia, and guess how many of those registered voters were undocumented migrants that cast a ballot?
Well, that's Georgia. I'm talking about Indiana.
Just guess for Georgia.
I would assume none with the very specific state.
9. What about Iowa's 2.3 million voters? How many of those do you think were self-reported, not even confirmed via the absence of citizenship, but merely self-reported non-citizens?
But will you say, because
Can you answer my question? I promise. I'm going
not sure.
somewhere with this.
I don't look at the charts, but
There was
your
80.
claim
So out of
that
the
it
2.3
never
million voters in Iowa,
your claim that it never happens, let me finish my point, is gravely untrue, because I know it doesn't just happen in my county in Indiana. It happens in neighboring counties, clear up into Indianapolis where it happens.
Okay, Dustin. So my claim is not that it never happens. My claim is that they can't vote, can't be an index to it's illegal for them to vote, right? Do people sometimes break the law?
Well, yeah, every single one of them that came into the country illegally did.
So people do sometimes break the law. Got it. So as it relates to non-citizens voting in elections, we'll be able to find maybe, I don't know, less than 300 instances of that happening in a federal election, which includes 150 million people. Like, for instance, in Georgia, there was 20 non-citizens registered to vote, 9 that actually cast ballots. In Iowa's 2.3 million voters, 87 of them were self-reported as non-citizens. And I'd say that these irregularities account to absolutely nothing. They're completely meaningless, and it's been illegal since the 90s. And if your claim is that Donald Trump is going to fix this, what is he going to do? Make it illegal again? Are they just going to stop breaking the law? And that's the thing. That's the thing, Dustin, is that you want to perpetuate this myth that undocumented migrants. Dustin, I'd appreciate it if you'd listen to me.
I am listening, but you're calling it a myth. I'm telling you, personal experience, it happens.
I'm telling you that what is a myth is the issue of non-citizens voting and that having any calculatable outcome on any calculatable impact on the outcome of an election. You know, it's like a bigger issue than like 9 people out of 8.7 million people in one state being non-citizens.
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
do you want to know what the bigger issue is? And by the way, I want to clarify, all those ballots were caught by audits. I want to clarify, every single one of those ballots was caught by an audit.
Okay.
What the bigger issue
I'm not worried about a federal election, but whenever you're looking at local communities, whenever you live in a city like I do, where I would say well over 50% of legal registered voters are Republican, and we've had a Democrat for the past 12 years.
Would you please turn off your Bluetooth? You're talking to me through a car, headset, or something other than your phone, and it's very low quality.
But whenever you look at that scheme of things, whenever your county chairs are being
influenced, this wouldn't even have an impact. 9 people out of 8.7 million registered voters in the state of Georgia, that's not going to have an impact on election at any level.
I'm not talking about Georgia. I'm talking about in my specific area.
Okay, so then specifically show me an audit that would demonstrate that's true.
They're not being caught on audit. My entire county.
So then how do you know that it's happening? Because why would they be caught on audit on every single state apart from Indiana that is a red state? Why would red state not catch these individuals on audits, but then blue states would?
My county is specifically controlled by Democrats.
Okay, so then give me an audit which would demonstrate how many
they hold the most
voted.
shares. They have covered it up. 100%. You laugh. When did you get into politics? Because I've been around it my entire life.
Do you know what a conspiracy theory is?
It's not a conspiracy theory whenever you lived it, bro.
What's a conspiracy theory?
It's not a conspiracy theory whenever you lived it.
Can you tell me what a conspiracy theory is?
It's something that hinges on very low facts.
Okay, out of
whenever
curious,
you
what are the facts to
experience it-
justify your claim?
The fact I live it. If I wanted to be a dick, I could
Saying that you lived it is not a fact.
name off every city councilman and every county councilman that I have walked with, handing out literature, handing out signs, who have all said this. Nice vape, by the way.
It's not a fucking vape. It's an anxiety pin.
Yeah, my girlfriend says the same thing about her vape too.
Well, she's a liar and I'm not.
I mean, nicotine does tend to help with anxiety.
It's not. Calm down.
But with that being said, I can turn to another fact of my entire life. I was born under a Republican.
Can you give me a single source from the internet that would indicate an issue of undocumented migrants voting in Indiana?
I'm telling you, they're not being caught. Just because you can find cases of them being caught,
if they're
every state is auditing.
if they're not being caught, then how do you know that's happening?
Let me ask: those 9 that got caught, what election were they caught in?
The 2020 general. Now answer my question.
Oh,
if they're not
okay,
being
so-
caught, what evidence do you have of it happening? It kind of just sounds like it's being hinged on it. Trust me, bro.
Fine, if you want to take it that way, I don't have any physical evidence. But
have
what
any
I'm
evidence?
saying is, I can give you the councilman. I can go pull my grandmother who
So what's the evidence
who
from the
has
councilman?
done it. Huh?
What's the evidence from the councilman?
The fact that I've walked with him and I've done it. He's told
Did what specifically? Explain to me
he has
specifically what you've
walked
done
up,
that proves that undocumented migrants vote.
he has walked up to people and filled out their absentee ballots and filled out their voter registration forms for them.
Voter registration forms. Voter registration form, Indiana. Let's see. Secretary of State, voter registration information, register to vote. You have a right to vote in Indiana if you are both a U.S. citizen and a resident of Indiana. So seemingly, in order to be registered to vote in Indiana, you have to prove citizenship via an SSN. So actually, no, you have not walked with anybody that has filled out a voter registration form for an undocumented migrant. Why are you lying?
I'm not. I've walked with them. They have said, "Do you want to vote?" Yes. Okay. Put your name, your first and last name, and your address on here. We will take it back and we'll fill out the rest of it.
Let's see here. Middle name, middle initial. So I actually have the voter registration form for Indiana pulled up on my state. You could find this on the Indiana Secretary of State Diego Morales' website. It's ion.gov. To find it, you just have to go to ion.gov and type in voter registration. It'll be the first thing that pops up. It looks like you have to give... one of the questions is literally, are you a citizen of America?
Okay, and you
and
said,
then another question is, are you at least 18 years old? And then another question is, what is your social security number or driver's license number? So that's actually not true. So you have to prove that you're a citizen by either giving your social security number or your driver's license number.
okay, so what I'm saying is I know for a fact they've done it. I've sat down
So
with
I just want to clarify. Your claim is that
who
those
have
people
walked with me.
So then actually it's your councilman that has conducted voter fraud. If what you're saying is true.
No, I said former.
So you had a former councilman that was conducting voter fraud.
Whenever he served in the early 90s, before he retired, he has sat down and told me. He has sat down with my grandmother and me, and we have talked about his entire career.
So at the end of the day, it was actually a U.S. citizen that was doing the voter fraud.
Okay, your point is what?
My point is that therefore your claim that undocumented migrants are committing voter fraud is not true.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the Democrat Party has perpetuated the fact that they are letting illegal immigrants register.
Actually, I want you to give me a single Democrat representative from across America that has been arrested, charged with, and found guilty of voter fraud insofar as allowing undocumented migrants
talking
to
about
register
all
to
America.
vote. Because you want to know something. Because you want to know something really fucking funny, Dustin. You know, my local congresswoman here in Grand Junction, Colorado, from Mesa County, was arrested and charged with voter fraud insofar as attempting to rig the outcome of the election in 2020 for Trump.
Okay,
That's a
but what I'm
Republican.
saying
So can you
is-
give me the name of a Democrat congressman or woman that has been arrested, charged, and found guilty of voter fraud insofar as aiding and abetting in the registration of undocumented migrants?
I don't know. I'm not on this shit. But whenever
So
you
then your claim's
say,
false.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It is false.
If it was false, I want to get on here.
I think that right now you're lying. I'm sorry, Dustin. I think that you were coming up
I
here and you're
swear
literally
on a
lying.
holy fucking Bible that I ain't lying.
And so then show me the name of one Democrat congressman or woman that has been arrested for, charged with, and convicted of, committing voter fraud and registering undocumented migrant voters. Saying. Because they don't fucking exist. So your claim that Democrats are perpetuating a notion of registering undocumented migrants, undocumented migrant
in my
voters
county, in
Madison, is not true.
In Madison County, Indiana, whenever you walk into the Democrat headquarters, I can name every single one of them that have sit down in my living room and said, hey, you remember whenever we did this? Or I've asked them, hey, did you ever do this?
Yeah, I don't believe you.
And they have all said, yeah.
No, I don't believe you.
Well, don't believe me. But my second thing is how come underneath Donald Trump's first term, my middle-class family...
Can you name one of them?
Huh?
Name one of them.
No, I'm not going to call out people that...
Okay, now I really don't believe you.
I'm not going to call out family and friends. That's fucked up.
Okay, all right. Well,
I mean, have you ever heard fucking snitches get stitches? You ain't been from around where I'm fucking at, bro.
Yeah. So I just the reduction of the companies now that I really don't believe you.
Well, don't believe me, but whenever you fucking live it, it's something different. But to my second point is why underneath Donald Trump's first term, my lower middle class family, and currently underneath this term, my lower middle class family, is seeming to thrive whenever the Democrats pretty much said that he was never going to help lower middle class and poor people.
You're telling me that you're already thriving as a result of Trump's second administration?
I mean, life's getting easier and better.
What has Donald Trump done to make your life get easier and better so far?
I mean, whenever I go and I buy American goods, they've tended to drop.
The price of American, like what specifically?
I don't know. Like it's cheaper to go down to my local butcher shop now and buy beef and chicken.
Beef has gone cheaper?
At my local butcher shop, it is cheaper to go buy his meat than it is to go to the store and buy the store's meat.
They've actually got more expensive. So this is coming from average price ground beef, 100% beef from FRED. The price of beef has only went up since his inauguration.
Okay, but what I'm saying is for the local mom and pop shop, who Trump said at the very beginning, said we're trying to promote small businesses. Same way it's been in Florida, same way it's been in Tennessee, same way it's been in Kentucky. They promote small businesses, mom and pop shops.
But listen to what I'm telling you. Like the average price of beef in America has gone up since his inauguration.
For those mom and pop shops that have cows that they butcher, it is cheaper to go to them than it is to go to the store who all jacked up their produce due to the tariffs.
Due to?
I said due to.
Sorry.
Fucking immature motherfucker. Shit.
So, Dustin, here's the issue. The average price of beef in America has gone up since Donald Trump's inauguration. Yet you are proclaiming that you, one of the lucky few, who lives near a beef shop that has had the price gone down of their product, is because of Trump's. I
never said it went down. It's pretty much stayed the same, but it is cheaper now. It is cheaper now to go to them than it is the store.
Okay, so the local product has maintained a consistent price, but it's gotten more expensive at the store. So in other words, you're saying that he's actually just made beef more expensive.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of a tariff. You jack up the price of other things to promote your own type of goods.
So you're telling me that Donald Trump has made your life easier by making the price of some products more expensive?
I tend to want to buy American more. It boosts our economy more if you buy American.
So how does Donald Trump?
Am I wrong? If you buy American, it boosts our economy instead of buying something from China, Afghanistan,
So
Iraq.
when you go to your local grocery store and you buy a good, you're buying a good that would provide an input into the American GDP. Plus, if your argument is now GDP growth, it went down the first financial quarter of 2025. But I do just want to clarify that your argument in a nutshell is literally Donald Trump has made your life easier since the start of his second term because he's made the price of some goods more expensive.
No, my
So then
argument is
what's the
he's
argument that he's
following
made your
through
life
on a
easier?
promise and making American mom and pop shops and small businesses more easier to make money because their products
Easier
are
to make
cheaper.
money. Well, I asked you this. You said that he's made your life easier since the beginning of his second administration. Obviously, increasing the price of some goods you could buy from some places doesn't make your life easier. So what has he done that's made your life easier?
He's promoted small businesses that I can go to and buy shit.
But listen, Dustin, this doesn't actually like make your life easier, even if it was true. Because think about it. You have
It makes it a hell of a lot easier.
Dustin,
Instead of me driving 15 minutes to a fucking store, I can go right down the
Dustin,
street.
I just want you to listen to me.
And go to the butcher shop, go to the general store, go to.
Dustin, listen to me. This is what you're saying. Business number one, big business. Business number two, small business. Business number one, big business, 30 minutes away. Business number two, small business, 10 minutes away. Before Trump was inaugurated, if you wanted to buy beef, you'd go to business number one, the big business that's 30 minutes away, and get it for $5 because the beef at the small business costs $6. But you're saying that Trump has actively made your life easier by instead making the beef from the business of number one, the big business, go from $5 to $7, and your life has been easier because now you have more incentive to only drive 10 minutes and still spend overall more money on your beef. So basically, in other words, you're just saying that
spend more money
because you're saying that if Donald Trump wasn't president, if he didn't tariff these other countries, you'd still be driving 30 minutes away and buying it for $1 cheaper. So in other words, you're saying that Donald Trump has made your life easier by making you spend overall more money for the bare necessities to live. What the fuck?
Okay, if I got to drive 30 minutes to the store, that's $20 worth of gas. Whenever I could walk down, literally 5 minutes to the road, and go to a smaller store, walking don't cost money. I don't know if you know that. You probably drive fucking everywhere. But and spend $7 whenever I could have went and got meat for $2 down across the street because it came from Canada or fucking Mexico.
Yeah, you're literally arguing that you're happy that Donald Trump is making you spend more money. You're like, Donald Trump is now making me spend $7 instead of $2, and I love it.
So $7 instead of $21 because you got to put gas in the car to get the 30-minute drive.
Wait, well, if you're gonna add gas into the equation, insofar as how much it would cost you to get the beef from the other store, wouldn't it make more sense for you just to go to the local butcher, even though it costs more before the tariffs?
Whenever you own a business, do you factor in the factor of you got to put gas in your car to go to the job site? Yes.
So then you would have had more incentive to go to the local butcher in the first place before Trump introduced his tariffs. Like, you still had to spend money on gas before he introduced his tariffs, right?
I know, but what I'm saying is whenever gas is...
I mean, listen. Literally, Dustin, hear me out. We're gonna use a scientific method, okay? So we need to evaluate, okay, the means in which you would get your beef before he was elected and now after he's elected, okay? We're factoring for a shit ton of variables here, like gas, like time, like energy and effort. Okay, but all those variables are going to remain like relatively like consistent and stagnant before and after his inauguration. All right? So let's just look at the variables that change. What are the variables that change? Okay, it's not the price of the beef that you get from your local market. So what could it be? The price of the beef that you'd get from the big block store 30 minutes away. That is the only changing variable. All right, just listen. That is the only changing variable is the price. Okay, then what are the other changing variables?
There was a tax on gas. There was a tariff put on imported goods like gas.
So your gas is more expensive? Okay, so let me get this straight. The two things that have changed that have made your life easier since Donald Trump became president was gas got more expensive and beef from some stores got more expensive. How is that a win?
It's a win because it's promoting, hey, instead of going to the big box store, why don't you go help Polly and Sam down the road?
So basically you're telling me that your life has gotten easier because now you're now in a place where going to the local butcher is all things considered the best option for you, but in contrast you're still spending more money. Like the reduction of your claim is your life has been easier because you get to spend more money on mom and pop shops.
No, my claim is that it makes more sense.
Idiot! Dude, this is treacherous.
Hey, you're the fucking idiot. You're the one that voted for Kamala, you dumb bitch.
Dude, and you rage quit and you left. Yeah, oh, I'm the one that voted. I'm the one that voted for the candidate with tax policy that would have made everybody's life easier and would have grown us closer to our allies and ensured that human rights were protected in this country. Oh, Jesus, I'm so stupid. Oh, how could I? Oh man, I didn't want to literally pay more money and then label me paying more money as the quality of my life increasing. He's calling me stupid. Your argument was literally that your life has gotten easier because you pay more to go to the store to buy shit because Trump's made your gas more expensive, and then you pay more to actually buy shit from the store because now you're sourcing from local farmers compared to fucking Walmart, Target, or City Market. Dude, come on, man. Really? Real, I don't know. I don't know what it is, you guys. Like, yeah, blows me away. Moving on to the next guest here. We're gonna get that next guest up in the live, y'all. What a crazy day. We got Kevin loading into the box. Yeah, then he's also saying that like 20 minutes for gas, $20 worth of gas for 30 minutes driving. What does he fucking drive? 2008, fucking F350, cut off muffler, deleted exhaust, probably. 3 miles to the gallon. No, not even. Like half a mile to the gallon. Sounds about right. No, or like a tank. Yeah, he's taking he's taking a tank or a bulldozer from the family farm to go buy his beef. Yeah. Oh my God! Holy shit! Chloe! With a $250 over on PayPal! Chloe! That is Klowie. Klowie. Chloe says, I'm 8 years active duty. I lost rights to fight for yours and to uphold the Constitution that is currently under attack by our current administration. I'm not legally allowed to speak on Orange Man. Thank you for being my voice, the people's voice, and standing for the Constitution and the country I love so much. We're founded on diversity and due process. These are scary times. You give me hope. Thank you. Chloe, first and foremost, thank you for your service. You're an American patriot. And I couldn't mean that more seriously. I couldn't make that claim with more true conviction in my fucking bones. Chloe, the American patriot, thank you not only for the kind message, but also for the absolutely insane $250 donation on PayPal. Everybody, please show some love to Chloe down below in that chat. Please. Thank you so much for the love, Chloe. What is going on, Angel? Do you support Trump?
I just want to say, Dean, real quick, Trump has made it into schools. I'm Mexican myself. Schools, it just feels different, since Trump has been at it. Everybody treats me differently. I think since kids listen to their parents and stuff talk about Trump, it's sad, man.
Man, you want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
So my grandma's best friend, she drops her grandson off at his elementary school, and she's Mexican. And last time she was picking her grandson up from this elementary school, these two teenage boys came up to her and hate crimed her, told her that this isn't her country and to go back home. So you're right. Trump has made it into the schools, and it's fucking so insane that this is a nationwide phenomenon. And I'm so sorry that you have to experience that.
I know. I'm underage. I'm sorry for joining you live. I just want to say that. Bro. It's really sad just to see this. It's sad. It makes me mad. It's like, parents take it into kids now.
Angel, I got to remove you because you are underage, but just know that, like, I feel terrible. I feel terrible for you. I feel terrible for so many people in this country that now have to experience the consequence of the bigotry that he's reproduced. Moving on to the next guest. What's going on, Zach? Do you support the Trump administration?
Yeah, I support the Trump administration.
Great. All right, before we hop into our conversation here, Zach, if you're one of the 5.6 thousand people watching on TikTok, y'all, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. Let's try to get up 2 million likes. Also, make sure that you're sharing out this live with a handful of friends. And if you're watching over on YouTube, make sure to like the stream As well as if you're watching and you'd like to support me, support the stream, keep the studio running for 4 hours a day every single day, you could support me via my Venmo, my PayPal, which you can find in the link tree in my bio on TikTok, as well as in the pin message over on the YouTube stream. I get 100% of the proceeds on these platforms compared to like 30% here on both TikTok and YouTube with their super chats. Zach, take it away and tell us why you support the current admin.
I guess I support. I mean, just a better economy. I mean, I know, I know. Yeah, I support the tariff.
How do you feel about fascism?
I don't. I mean, I'm not really a supporter of that, obviously, but
Donald Trump's a fascist. He actually fulfills all 14 characteristics of fascism.
all right. I know.
Does that concern you?
I mean, I guess I don't believe that, but
Do you want to go through them?
if you would like to, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I do.
Versus like, okay.
Fascism tenets, 14 defining characteristics of fascism. First one, powerful and continuing nationalism. Do you contest that Donald Trump wants to uphold powerful and continuing nationalism?
I'm not going to convince you anything differently. I'm willing to listen. You can educate me, I guess.
Yeah. Do you contest that Donald Trump wants to uphold powerful and continuing nationalism? Can we agree that's something he literally ran on?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, the second one is disdain for human rights. Yeah, so I mean, he's been ignoring the Constitution, not granting undocumented migrants due process. And when federal judges, circuit courts, as well as the Supreme Court have checked him and told him to stop, he said that he's not going to stop. And then he told a news reporter that he doesn't know if he has to uphold the Constitution. So do you contest that he has a disdain for some human rights?
I mean, it could be seen that way by your opinion, sure.
Do you disagree with my opinion?
I don't know, man. I'm not really thinking about that. I'm thinking about all this stuff like the economy and, you know, a better life for myself, my family.
Let me tell you. So I'm a social democrat. That means at the end of the day, I am a capitalist. But sometimes I really understand the socialists. Sometimes I really understand the communists. Because what you just told us is that you don't care about human rights. You just kind of, want to see the GDP increase. And the saddest part of it all is that last quarter, the GDP went down because of Donald Trump's economic policy. We were the only country in the world that had a decline in our GDP. So even though you don't care about human rights and you're purely hyperfixated on economic concerns, he's doing shit for the economy. Yeah, but basically what you just said is that fascism's okay if eggs are cheaper. And eggs aren't cheaper.
No, that's not really how I feel, but that's how you think I feel. It's okay.
Well, correct me
Can
if
I
I'm
ask
wrong.
you? Dude, I listen to you pretty often, and I think you're a pretty smart guy. And I actually, I'm learning some stuff from you. But can I ask you a question?
Yeah, for sure. I just wish that you would have engaged in that point a little bit.
All right. Well, I mean, okay. Well, so what do you want? What is your question? No, I can engage some more. What's up?
I asked you to confirm or deny the second defining characteristic of fascism, which is a disdain for human rights. I gave you the evidence that Donald Trump does have a disdain for human rights, and you said, "I don't know, I don't care, I just want a better economy." And then my response
I just said that, from my interpretation, I just don't feel that he has a disdain for it, and I mean, I'm not super knowledgeable about what you're talking about exactly, so I mean, I could be wrong. I have no idea.
Would you?
Yeah,
Can we agree that due process is a human right?
Sure. I think that the part that we're disagreeing on is that somebody who comes here illegally and isn't, I know you're gonna go to the it's for all people or whatever, but I just feel like that people that come here illegally, and don't deserve.
I have a question, because you just agreed with me that due process is a human right. Now you're just arguing that undocumented migrants don't deserve that human right. Are you pro-life by chance?
Yeah.
So why do you think fetuses deserve human rights, but undocumented migrants don't?
Well, fetuses are innocent. They're not breaking the law, and they're just breaking it. Like somebody breaks into your house. Do you think that they deserve you to give them a shot, to see if they're cool or not, or do you just kick them out of your house?
So I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify that you actually do think that a clump of cells deserves more human rights than undocumented migrants.
Well, in my opinion, that's living life. So, but
Are undocumented migrants living life?
Yeah, they are. But like I said, what about my point? Like, somebody breaks into your house, are you going to give them due process, or are you going to fucking kick them out of your house, Dean? Like,
Due process is a function of our
like
criminal
what are you going to
justice.
be like? Hey, what are you doing here, buddy? Like,
Due process,
okay?
as
So-
ordained by the Constitution, is a part of the criminal justice system. And actually, when you defend yourself from like a home invader, you're not giving the invader due process. You're defending yourself. And in fact, that's why you still get arrested and charged for murder if you kill them. And then self-defense is
I don't know,
merely
killing
an
people,
argument
I'm
in
not
court
killing
during the
themselves.
due process. So actually, the way in which our criminal justice system functions is you're not giving a home invader due process when you defend yourself. So then you have to go to court and prove self-defense through due process. The due process for that self-defense comes later. Fun fact. It still happens.
Yeah, I can see your side. I'm just like, I guess I have my own opinions.
But
and
how does
everyone-
this relate to my like crazy reduction of your view that you think clumps of cells deserve more human rights than undocumented immigrants?
Because in my opinion, that's your opinion. In my opinion, I believe that's a living life form, and that you know, that the potential of that becoming a human being.
I mean, but arguably undocumented migrants are also human and alive.
Yes, they are, and they're just.
Arguably, I don't know, man. Am I wrong?
I'm not arguing with that. Like, they're human beings. They are. They just came. They broke the law. Like they were. You know what I mean? Like they're.
So,
I don't know,
so your
I guess.
argument is because they broke the law coming in, they don't really so if you break the law, you don't really deserve like a human right to due process, right? So,
Well, I mean,
so what's funny is you're basically saying somebody that breaks the law doesn't deserve human rights if they're undocumented migrants. But if a white man from New York named Donald Trump breaks the law 34 times and then rapes a woman, not only does he deserve due process, but he also deserves the presidency.
All right, Dean. I know this is what I was gonna get myself into. I had a question though, you know, because I mean, yeah, that's got me, dude. Like
You got to respond to that. If they're an undocumented migrant and they break the law, they don't deserve human rights. If they're Trump and they break the law, they deserve the presidency. Explain that one to us all, please.
Okay, so Trump went through the court of law and got his punishment. You know what I mean? He did his thing. You know, some people break the law and they turn away from whatever. You know, they do good. Yeah, you're saying every felon that has ever been can't turn around and do good?
Are you arguing that Donald Trump should have gotten due process for the crimes that were alleged against him?
No, he did. He went through court. He
Do you
got
think
what
he
he
should
got.
have? Do you think he should have?
He got what he got. He did. He went to.
I'm not asking.
due
I'm
process.
asking you if he should have got what he got. Do you agree that that giving him due process was a good thing?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. He's an American citizen.
So not giving him due process would have been a bad thing, right?
I mean, he's an American citizen, so I feel that the people that are American citizens are more like
Are you saying that only American citizens deserve human rights?
constitutionally protected.
Zach,
And I feel-
are
yeah.
you arguing that only American citizens deserve human rights? Because you agreed with me when I
right.
defined due process as a human right.
You got me, Dean. I don't know. Like, I guess I've heard you. I listen to you pretty frequently, so I already know where this whole argument's gonna go. Like, I don't really know what you want me to say to you right now.
This is actually like a new one. I'm coming up with this on the spot, man.
No,
Because,
you.
let me get this straight. You think that due process is a human right? Yes.
Because is it a human right? Like, is it? Or what's their country's laws? You know what I mean? Where they came from, where they left. What would they do to them?
It's not the question that I asked you, nor is it the question that you're responding to.
Well, that would be so. These are American.
My question was,
These are-
you
we're talking about
still
American
do
rights.
agree that due process is a human right, correct?
I mean, if you're from America, or if you're a legal citizen from America.
So only Americans deserve human rights.
I'm not saying that they deserve that. I'm saying that that's how the
Wow,
world works.
wow. Let me ask you.
No, I'm saying
Let
that's
me
how the
ask
world
you.
works.
Let me
Okay,
ask
so-
you. If if there was a pregnant undocumented migrant that got an abortion, did they do anything wrong?
I don't really even want to get into abortion. and
Answer
all
the
that.
question. If there's a pregnant undocumented migrant that got an abortion, did they do anything wrong? Did they do something that should be illegal?
Did they do something wrong? I mean, by aborting their child, yeah, that'd be
Wait,
something wrong.
why? Wait, why? Because you think only Americans deserve human rights.
Murdering is just like all wrong.
Oh, why is murdering wrong? Because it's a human rights violation? So undocumented migrants do have human rights?
We're just never gonna get through on this one, Dean. I just had a question about like. I had a question. Can I ask you any questions, or is it just you just interrogating me?
I mean,
I just had a real question. I was just curious.
Listen, this does feel like an interrogation, but the reason this feels like an interrogation is because you actually can't contest what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying is true and what you believe.
Well, I can, and I can honestly say, you know, what I believe, and then you say what you believe, and I mean, like, you'll just tell me I'm wrong, and.
But the point of a debate is for me to provide reason why you're wrong, and for you to provide reason why you're right, and reason why I'm wrong, and then we go back.
Well, I kind of try to give it to you. I feel that other countries have their own laws. You know what I mean? They came from there, and yeah, I mean, it's probably the right thing. You know, America might have it all right. They might not have it all right.
Yeah, so if there's an undocumented migrant that comes from a country where abortion is legal, they should also legally be allowed to get an abortion in America, right?
I think abortion can go ahead and be legal, and it's kind of like put on your own personal self. Like, if you want to abort a baby and you can feel good about that, you can go ahead and do it. Like, that's not. I'm not. I'm pro-life.
But earlier you called abortion murder.
I'm pro-life personally.
So why should murder be legal, but undocumented entry into America illegal?
Because it is.
Because you're basically saying it should be this way because it is this way.
No, it's just the law. You have to live by the laws of your land. Like, you can't just.
But we're talking about what should be the case, because you just told me that murder should be up to the individual and shouldn't be illegal. Earlier you called abortion murder. Obviously, I disagree.
Oh, well,
so if murder should be legal, why shouldn't undocumented entry into America?
What's that?
If murder should be legal and up to every person, why shouldn't entry into America
be legal and up to every person?
Yeah.
So, Dean, to your point, you're saying that every country should just have open borders at all times.
I mean, I think that's basically what you should be saying here. I don't see any reason why undocumented migration into America should be legislated on if you don't think murder should be legislated on.
No, I do think murder should be legislated on. I don't know where you got that from.
So either you don't think that abortion's murder, or you do think that abortion should be legislated on.
No, me personally, I believe that abortion's murder. You don't believe that it's murder. So, like me, I'm not gonna do an abortion. But you know what?
So if an undocumented migrant entering into America doesn't, so basically you're saying that if somebody doesn't think it's wrong, they should be able to do it. So if an undocumented migrant doesn't think that undocumented entry into America is wrong, they should be able to do it.
Dean, okay, your argument's kind of flawed a little bit in a way, because you're saying that, okay, so an abortion, those are actually legal, right? For the most part, legal.
What?
And coming to America is illegal if you don't not documented. Am I correct or wrong here?
What are you saying?
So abortions are legal for the most part, and then coming into
6 million American women don't have access to abortion, and 60 pregnant rape victims per day are also denied access to abortion.
All right, I said mostly legal. Okay, and then coming into America is 100% illegal without having documents, bro. Like that argument doesn't even make any sense.
Okay, I'm convinced that you just don't know what's going on at this point. You said that you had some questions for me. Feel free to ask them.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. And these are just like honest. Like I'm not super educated in this stuff. Like, but hey, I was just wondering, is it bad? So what Trump's proposing on our pharmaceutical drugs, you know, getting them cut down to pretty much what other people are paying, because we're essentially paying 3 times more than they're paying. Pretty much putting 75% of the profit into these pharmaceutical companies out of America alone. Is that like fair to our country, or should we be kind of separating up the profits throughout all the countries? Or should
What is your question?
I'm just wondering, is it a bad thing, basically, like what Trump's doing with the pharmaceuticals, you know, like getting our drug prices cut down for everybody, because since we're paying triple, or trying to, you know, is that a bad thing? Since we're giving 75% of the profits to these pharmaceutical companies.
So you're asking me if Donald Trump wanting to cut pharmaceutical drug prices is a bad thing?
Yes.
Okay, so no, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. However, I don't take him too seriously. The reason why I don't take this too seriously is because A, he's actually increasing the price of pharmaceutical drugs by introducing his tariffs on all goods imported into his country. In fact, he even introduced a specific tariff on pharmaceutical drugs. And then B, the executive order that he signed into law today surrounding decreasing the price of pharmaceuticals was merely asking companies to do it. His executive order said, please reduce the price of your pharmaceutical drugs. That's not the way to do it. If you want to get it done, you introduce price caps. If you want to get it done, you introduce maximum profit percentage. If you want to get it done, you introduce regulations onto these companies requiring them to abide by very specific legislation. You don't just ask them politely.
Okay. All right.
Like Biden did. Like Biden. That's what Biden did with the IRA, placing a $30 cap on the price of insulin.
Yep. Okay, sounds great. Also, I was just also wondering about like, so just my couple questions. That I mean, I believe it's going to happen because it's kind of like the tariffs. You know what I mean? Like everybody was hating on the tariffs right away, and I'm sure you still have your hating on them or whatever. But was it a good thing or a bad thing? What happened with China and the U.S. just recently with dropping the tariffs and giving us 90 days?
Yeah, overall, it was a bad thing. Overall, it was a really bad thing. Yeah.
Why our stock market's
thank
at
you
the
so
same
much for
level
showing, Andrew. I appreciate that.
when
Thank you
Trump
so
came
much.
into office, isn't it?
Well, actually, it's at the same level that it was when he originally implemented the tariffs on Liberation Day over a month ago. The reason this is a bad thing is because it was 110% unnecessary. He caused short-term pain for short-term pain.
Well, I mean, he said it was going to be short term. So, okay, can I just ask? Can I just ask you something? So, if it turns out that these tariffs work great and the stock market's booming and everything's going great, our GDP goes up in the next 6 months, is that going to be still just like a bad thing that happened, or is that going to be a good thing?
No, it'll be good. I just want you to recognize the fallacious nature of the answer of the question you just asked me. The question that you just asked me was essentially stating, if Trump's policy ends up being good, will Trump's policy be good? Like that.
Well, I mean,
like a logically equivalent question would be, if you're wearing red shoes, are you wearing red shoes? If Bush actually did 9/11, then did Bush do 9/11?
I get what you're saying, but the reason I ask it like that is because it just seems that like when the stock market had tanked, and Trump did say that the stock market was going to tank, we're going to go through a time of pain, and now it's back to where it originally had started. And if it keeps going up and everything's going good, and you guys all said you ruined America, like right off the bat by doing that, like basically, like.
Can you please give me a very specific economic argument that these tariffs will yield long-term benefits?
Well, I mean, if China drops their tariffs on us, will that not help us out?
So they did by 115%, and we agreed to drop our tariffs on them by 115%. But you'll understand that they'd increased their tariffs on us by over 115%, just like we increased our tariffs on them by over 115%.
Well, aren't our current tariffs right now, like, I think it was we have like an extra 10% for fentanyl, something for the fentanyl.
Goodbye, Zach. You can't say that on TikTok Live. Goodbye. Moving on to the next guest, we got Queen loading up, and oh my god. Dude. Elaine with a $217 on PayPal. Dude, what the fuck is going on today? I'm bamboozled. Elaine. Holy shit. That is Eliane. Elaine. Thank you. That is incredibly kind of you. First we had Sarah, then we had Chloe, and now we have Elaine. What the fuck is going on today? Can everybody please show some love to Elaine down below in the chat for the over $200 donation on PayPal? I want to see so many W Elaines down below in that box. And then also Sid with the $100 over on Venmo saying, hi Dean, missed like the whole stream. Don't worry, we didn't start. We just started around 2 hours ago. Sid, thank you for the $100 donation over on Venmo. Fucking hell, Sid. Everybody, show some love to Sid. Show some love to Elaine. Oh my God. Thank you both so very much. I'm just That's crazy. That's insane. Thank you guys so much for the love. I don't even know what to say. That is nuts. Thank you so much for the love, Elaine and Sid, as well as Adam with the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat, saying every guest should get a Snickers before they start debating, so they're less crabby. Yeah, a lot of these guests have been very, very, very crabby. That is very true. Everybody, please show some love down below in that chat. We are going to go and get that next guest up here right now, Brayson. Our Scott, what's going on? Do you support Trump? Scott, do you support Trump? Scott's not here, quite frankly. Moving on to the next guest. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat if you would like to come up here and debate. We are just looking for some Trump supporters to have some dialogue with. Quite frankly, that's the truth. Hello, D-Slop. Are you MAGA?
Yes, but I do have a question for you.
I remember you. You're that kid. You're a kid, and you keep on coming up here. You come up here like once a day, and I'm like, hey, it's at St. Fetus. I remember you. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Hell yeah, I do.
Why is that, Zach? Tell us why you're MAGA. Come back to the live, Zach.
He's not Kamala, and he's good for our economy.
Is this like your real voice, or are you trolling?
What are you talking about?
I think it might be real. I'm sorry for making fun of your accent. Okay, let's talk about it. So, you said not Kamala.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
Well, we can't have a woman in charge of our country.
Okay, so you think men are better leading than women?
Hell yes, I do, sir.
And why is that?
Because men are better.
And why is that?
Because they're stronger.
Physically?
And mentally.
What do you... Mentally stronger? That's not true.
Yes, they are.
What do you mean by mental strength?
They have more resilience.
More resilience? Like they're more likely to make decisions predicated on logic and reason and are resilient to decision-making processes involving emotion?
Yeah, whatever you just said.
So that's actually not true. The opposite is true.
No, it's not.
Comparing females to males.
It's not.
Comparing females to males. Females are biologically designed to better deal with stress. They have thicker dendrites in the context of their neuroanatomy, which allows them to be better fit to deal with stress. And the biological evolutionary purpose of this is to deal with childbirth. So not only
listen,
do
son,
females better deal
you're
with
just
stress,
spitting nonsense.
So if you think science is nonsense, I'm not willing to believe that men are more mentally resilient than women. Or
listen, I've never been wrong.
Sentence.
I'm not
I've
good.
never been wrong. Yeah, that's a troll. And okay, all right, we're gonna move on to the next guest. Very troll. Yeah, I mean, I'd believe him if he was saying that like men are better leading than women. A lot of people say that, not trolling. But like the whole never been wrong thing, very obvious. Hello, Victor. My good sir.
What's going on,
Victor.
my man?
Hello, do you support Trump? Victor, do you support Trump?
What's going on, my man?
Not too much. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yes, I do.
How old are you? It looks like
34.
Okay, Victor. You have a very bad connection. Maybe check your Wi-Fi. If it's on, turn it off. If it's off, turn it on.
Let me see.
I really want to talk to Victor, so I'm going to say we're going to give him a second. And in the meantime, we're going to go get another guest Brayson up here. We got Brayson loading into the live. This guy's on Mag Mobile. Hello, Brayson. While Victor's figuring out his Mag Mobile, take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Well, all right. Well, first of all, I'm not.
Brayson, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 18.
18. What year were you born in?
Do I have to disclose that to everybody?
Yeah, you do.
Like, am I forced to? Or is it just like something that you just want me to prefer to do?
I'm flicking my bean right now. I am flicking.
Good Lord.
Okay, I think that you're lying about your age. I feel like only a fetus would tell me their age and then be like, do I have to expose that to everybody, what year I was born into everybody? You know, when you tell us your age, you're exposing what year you're born into everybody because of mathematics, quite frankly. By the way, if you're watching the stream and you'd like to support the stream, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds over on those platforms compared to around 30% here on TikTok or YouTube Super Chat. What's going on, the one? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I voted for Trump.
Oh, are you driving?
No.
Okay. You got a little bit of wind. Maybe if you could go inside, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm sitting in front of a fan out in the garage. So yeah, let me turn it on.
Sweet. So why do you support Trump, sir?
I think he was the better choice. I don't think Kamala was in my opinion, I don't think she was the right choice. I've voted both ways in the past. I voted for Obama when he ran, but I just wasn't feeling Kamala, man.
Okay, so why was the fascist better than the woman?
I don't think so. So here's the thing too, and I think the left has gone off the rails a little bit with the the fascism and the calling them a I don't know if you could say these words on TikTok, but
No, I actually disagree.
yeah.
I actually think that here's my I'll be sympathetic to the position that like sometimes in politics we could use like hyperbolic descriptive language such as terms like fascist, Nazi, etc. To like refer to candidates that aren't actually fascists or Nazis. Now that I think about it, I think every time these terms have been used in my memory, they've been true. But I'm at least willing to express the idea that that could happen in like a very polarized political environment. But Trump is actually a fascist. That's the thing. Like, I mean, like if we just want to go over like the pillars of fascism as defined by the literature, I mean,
I truly believe that you don't believe that, and it's just a ploy to rage bait people.
That's like the crazy part. I get it, man. I get where you're coming from. I do. I could put myself in your shoes and I could understand what you're saying from your perspective. If I was a Trump supporter, I'd be saying the same thing. But the thing is, I actually believe he's a fascist and I could prove it. He checks all 14 boxes. Okay, so do you want to go over them?
Let's hear just one. I'm curious. Let's hear one.
I mean, I think it's going to be important to go over all of them because I'm going to say one. They're going to be like, that alone doesn't prove fascism.
Let's start with one.
The first defining characteristic of fascism is powerful and continuing nationalism. I don't think that I need to explain how Donald Trump wants powerful and continued nationalism. He ran on it.
Well, so here's the debate there then. I think everyone in politics wants power. So everyone would check that box.
So I think a fair bit of politicians would check that first box of powerful and continuing nationalism. However, I think that Donald Trump is a exemplary,
that's your opinion.
Because of Donald Trump's ideas of powerful and continuing nationalism related to calling undocumented migrants illegal aliens, directing ICE to do deportations in absence of due process.
Which he's well within his right to do. He's the president of the United States.
So
he
actually,
has that power.
According to the Constitution, the president of the United States does not have the power to overrule the Supreme Court decision. Why are you lying?
He does under the Aliens Enemy Act, which he's invoked.
Actually, that was struck down by a federal judge, and no act supersedes the Constitution. No act supersedes the interpretation of the Constitution.
It did not. It was a 9-0 in favor of it.
So the 9-0 decision from the Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration to facilitate the return of Abrigo Garcia, and he denied.
Right, and the first part of that, what you're leaving out, the first part of their judgment was that they allowed him to use the Alien Enemies Act, and that he was supposed to quote facilitate his return. So define facilitate. Facilitate.
To try your best to get it done.
Right, and so when the what do they call him, the prime minister or president of the country that they sent him back to is saying, no, we're good, we don't want to send him back, he's a criminal.
Yeah, but the issue is that's also what Trump said. Donald Trump isn't attempting to facilitate the return of Abrigo Garcia. Donald Trump has said that himself. In fact, Donald Trump even put out a statement on the White House account on Twitter saying that it's never going to happen and that he's never going to.
He doesn't have to.
Because so he's ordered by the Supreme Court to facilitate the return of Abrigo Garcia. Yes, he indeed does. Legally speaking, would you let me finish before you interrupt me? I would really appreciate it if you'd let me finish this out.
Good.
Thank you. So yes, legally speaking, he does have to facilitate the return of Abrigo Garcia. And if you are curious, right, the Supreme Court then took the issue and gave it to a lower circuit court to delineate insofar as what he literally has to do to facilitate it with specific actions. That determination has not been made yet. Okay? So all we know right now is that he's ordered to try to get him home. But the issue is Donald Trump has never tried to get him home.
Well, you don't
Donald
know that.
Trump
He could have made a
has
phone call.
denied. No, we do know that he's denied to try to make him home. He's made that very public information.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he's ignoring the Supreme Court.
No, I don't think. I mean, okay. Let's say he is. So what?
So what? That's a
Yeah,
violation
I
of the
mean,
Constitution.
so they're saying facilitate his return.
So fucking
He's
what?
saying
It's a
that-
violation of the So fucking what? So
Yeah.
fucking what? Wait,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no way you're going to convince me that you care about immigrants entering into the country with the use of illegal means when you're then going to sit here and tell me that you don't care about the president of America defying the Supreme Court, ignoring the Constitution, and doing unconstitutional acts, duties, and things. So fucking what? So fucking what? You know, so fucking what? Here's what I know. So fucking what is that earlier when I was telling you that Trump's a fascist, not only is he a fascist, but you like it. You see fascism and you say, gimme, gimme. You look at the consolidation of power, okay, which was, you look at the checks and balances of power inside of America as ordained by the American Constitution that the founding fathers of this country fought and died for in a war against Britain. Okay. And then you look at one man close to 300 years later trying to overrule, eradicate, and consolidate those checks and balances down to his own branch, to himself. And you say, so fucking what? You're a traitor. You're not a patriot. You've never been a patriot. You stand against what America's supposed to stand for. And if you were standing in front of the founding fathers of this country, okay, guess what? They'd hate you.
I think you're wrong.
No, you just told us that you don't care about the consolidation of power to one branch of the government
No,
in defiance of the Supreme Court and Constitution.
No, that's not what I said. You're putting words in my mouth.
That's what you said. So
what I said was, which I haven't really been able to talk much, but you're saying that Donald Trump didn't make an attempt or to facilitate this guy's return, quote unquote. I'm saying you don't know that
Yes,
for
we
a
do.
fact.
I do know that for a fact.
No,
Yeah,
you do not.
Yes, I do. Yes, you haven't.
To facilitate could have been a simple phone call. You don't know if he's made this phone call or not. He could have made a phone call and
So
said, "Hey,
the issue here is
send them back."
you'd have
and
a
when
decent-
they said, "No, we're good, bro. We're gonna keep them,"
So the
then
issue,
that's enough.
So the issue here is that this would be true if Trump didn't personally say that he's never going to come back to America.
So this could have, again, he could have said this after the phone call. Like, again, you
He said
don't
that we
know.
don't want him back, and then he went and he sat down with a news reporter from ABC, and he says that he doesn't know if he has to uphold the Constitution. In fact, in the 100 Days interview with ABC as well, the ABC news reporter told Trump that he could pick up the phone right now, call El Salvador, and get Rodrigo Garcia back to America, and he said no. So actually, we do know that he's not done that.
Why would you want this guy back?
So now you've implicitly conceded that sure he's
I
ignoring the order
haven't
from the Supreme Court, and now
Just
you're
saying,
saying why would you want him back? Yeah, because unlike you, I'm an American patriot and I'm pro law and order. That's why.
So let me ask you this: so he's clearly a criminal. He's beat his wife. He did all kinds of crazy stuff. So let's say we bring him back to just then.
Oh, guess what?
send
Okay,
him
so
away
bad.
again?
So apparently, people who you think are bad don't deserve constitutional protections. That's awesome, man.
No, I'm saying
See,
we're gonna bring him back to
no, that's an
then
issue.
send him back.
Yeah, sure. I bet he could get deported, and he should. And if he is
Again?
deported, yeah, very possibly. You just need
So
to get
that
a due
would make
process
you
inside of an
happy if we
immigration court.
wasted the money to bring him back to then send him back
Okay.
again.
Well, actually, deportations generally don't make me happy. However, if it is true that he has committed a violent crime of a domestic abuse upon his ex-wife, it is the case that then I would support his deportation. However, it would make me happy for due process in the law to play out as it's supposed to. And if you
Under
think
the Aliens
that
Enemy
spending
Act,
money
they don't
to
get
ensure
due
that the
process.
Constitution is upheld, you're basically telling me that it makes you sad to uphold the Constitution.
That's not. Again, you're putting words in my
POS.
mouth. You're just putting words in my
The
mouth. I
Supreme
never
Court
said.
ruled that is what the
Again, they ruled that he
Constitution
can
states.
use the Aliens Enemy Act.
So then why did they rule that they had to facilitate the return of Rodrigo Garcia if his deportation was legal, constitutional, and fell
So
under
you're
the
saying
Alien
that they
Enemies Act?
did not. They did not tell.
No, that's actually not
Trump
what I'm saying at all. Stop
Oh,
red herring my
okay.
position, strawmanning my position, and answer my question. If you're arguing that the Supreme Court ruled that the Alien
Because
Enemies
they're
Act
two
was
different
constitutional,
They're
and that
two
he
different
was
things.
deported via the Alien Enemies Act in a constitutional manner, then why did they order him to facilitate the return of Abrigo Garcia?
Because they're two different things. They're saying A.
So it was
you can-
unconstitutional to deport Abrigo Garcia, and the Alien Enemies Act is neither here nor there and is completely irrelevant to the conversation, so how come you keep bringing it up? Boom.
No, I mean, it's not a boom. That's not a. I don't know what to tell you, bro. You're not. It's not like a gotcha.
I think it might be. Like, typically gotchas
It's
result in
definitely
silence.
not.
Okay, well, if I didn't get you, what's your response?
I mean, the conversation's kind of dead, man. We don't agree.
Wait,
The
if the
president has the
conversation
power-
went dead, silent, null, and done with my question to you, I think I did get you.
No, the president has the power under the Aliens Enemy Act to deport people without due process. Period. End of story.
And you argue that the Alien Enemies Act was not here or there and completely irrelevant to the illegal, unconstitutional deportation of Abrigo Garcia. So why do you keep
No.
bringing it up?
No, because again, the two different situations. The one ruling is for the use of the Aliens Enemy Act, and one ruling is for one specific case about one specific individual.
Yeah,
That's
you're
it.
right. So you're telling
They're
me that they're
two
completely
different
separate.
things.
They're two different things. They're distinct.
So just
They're
because they
completely
said-
separate. So then if they're completely separate, if the Alien Enemies Act is not relevant to the deportation of Abrigo Garcia, then why do you? keep
No,
bringing
because
it
I
up?
think that he got deported prior to the Supreme Court ruling.
Oh, so actually, Supreme Court rulings, insofar as the constitutionality of things, is like it acts in retrospect. So, like for instance, if they had ruled the Alien Enemies Act as constitutional, that would mean anybody previously deported under the Alien Enemies Acts was legal and constitutional as well. Just like when the Supreme
Right.
Court ruled that Donald Trump's EO on birthright citizenship was unconstitutional, that retroactively enforced that every new citizen born by undocumented migrants in America while that EO was in place was a citizen as well. Supreme Court rulings are retroactive.
Right, I understand, and that's why they're
Okay,
not.
so
asking
then
to have
if
anyone else
if he
say
was deported
that.
under the Alien Enemies Act, it would have been constitutional, and they wouldn't have ruled Trump to facilitate his return.
Again, you're wrong.
What am I wrong about? You just agreed that I'm right. Actually, you agreed that
No.
the rulings are retroactive.
The rulings are retroactive, but I think because this guy got so much, news that around him that they are specifically looking at that one case because he's claiming he's not a criminal and he's not an illegal immigrant.
Oh, so in other words, you're saying that the Supreme Court's ruling that it was unconstitutional doesn't actually mean it's unconstitutional.
No, it's not what I'm saying.
So then it was unconstitutional for Trump to deport him?
I don't think that it was either constitutional or I think it was constitutional. If he's an illegal immigrant,
so then you're saying that the Supreme Court is wrong. And then on top of that, you're also saying that the Supreme
I'm not
Court
saying the Supreme Court is wrong. You're
the
just
Supreme
like
Court ruled it as
you're-
unconstitutional. That's why they
you're
ruled him
kinda
to
like
facilitate his return.
pretzeling shit.
Wait,
I mean,
wait,
really.
why would they rule him to facilitate Abrigo Garcia's return if his deportation was legal and constitutional? With what ground, with what standing would they have to rule that the Trump administration is legally obligated to facilitate his return?
Again, facilitate is not the same.
Okay, I understand, but I'm using the word facilitate, so answer my question. With what legal standing would they have to rule the Trump administration to
They
facilitate
haven't
his
even
return
decided
if his deportation was legal, valid, and constitutional?
They haven't even ruled on what facilitate is even.
This is not relevant to my question. Why would they make that ruling at all if his deportation was legal, valid, and constitutional?
They haven't ruled. That's the point.
So they did rule that they do have to facilitate the return. They haven't delineated what the facilitation should specifically look like with the lower circuit court. But I'm talking about the ruling that they had to facilitate the return at all, defining facilitation under any sense of the word. Why would they rule him to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return under any sense of the word if his deportation was completely legal?
I'm going to say that I don't know.
Yeah, because if you were to answer in good faith and say that you do know because it was illegal and unconstitutional, your argument would be invalid.
So you're gonna say that the Aliens Enemy Act, the president is not allowed to deport people.
I'm saying that your argument that Abrego Garcia's deportation was legal, valid, and constitutional is absolutely fucking wrong, and it's been proven wrong by the Supreme Court, and you don't have a counter argument to what I'm saying because I've been able to reduce you down to saying that you have no fucking clue why the arbiters of the Constitution that make rulings on the constitutionality of actions taken by our government, our people in our country, would rule that the Trump administration has to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because when they deported him, it was illegal, it was unconstitutional, and that's why the arbiters of the Constitution then told him to bring him back. Just a shocking idea, and maybe the evidence. Oh, I don't know. Ask the fucking Supreme Court.
Exactly. So you don't know.
Yeah, I think appealing to the Supreme Court is a damn strong standard of evidence.
The Aliens Enemy Act is allowed to be used.
And you're the one that told me that the Alien Enemies Act had nothing to do with the deportation of Abrego Garcia.
Why was it illegal?
I just want to clarify what you just said. You just said that A, the Alien Enemies Act had nothing to do with the deportation of Abrego Garcia, and then you said B, because they ruled the Alien Enemies Act was constitutional. Yes, you did.
No.
You said
Why don't you answer my question? Why is it illegal?
The one you said it. You said it 3 times.
Why was it illegal?
Oh, I already answered that too. I said I don't know. Ask the Supreme Court.
So you don't know?
Yeah, no fucking clue. But I know that the Supreme Court does.
Reduce you down to not knowing. See how that works?
I don't understand the issue here. The Supreme Court ruled it was illegal.
You're pigeonholing me, and I can pigeonhole you the same way.
You're not pigeonholing me though. See, like
you're saying that I just reduced you down to not saying this.
The reason that this isn't
for you.
So the
you
reason
don't know.
So the reason that this isn't a pigeonhole, the reason that this isn't a gotcha, the reason why this actually is not an issue within my perspective at all is because it's the Supreme Court that made the ruling. There's no higher court of appeals. Listen, if it was like a district court that made this ruling that he had to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia, you could very easily make the argument that the Trump administration would be able to appeal that ruling and take it to a higher court and then use the fact that I have no clue why that ruling was made in the first place to give credence to your position and dispute my position that it was a valid ruling. But because there's no higher court of appeals on top of the Supreme Court, as they are the ultimate interpreters of the Constitution, and that is self-defining, I don't need to know why they made their ruling to acknowledge that their ruling is unchangeable, valid, and cannot be appealed by any court whatsoever.
Calm down. Hold on. Listen, I'm going to try to make this very specific question. I'm not asking why the Supreme Court ruled. I'm asking if the Aliens Enemy Act is being invoked and Trump is legally allowed to use this act, then why was it illegal for him to deport that guy? I don't know his name.
Yeah, once again, the answer is I don't know, but it was.
Okay, so then the same answer that I gave would be the same answer you were giving right now.
No, because you're saying I don't know, but the Supreme Court is wrong. See, the Supreme Court can't be wrong.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't know why they would rule one way and then in the same sentence after that rule for this guy to be facilitated to come back.
It's because, as you said earlier, the Alien Enemies Act has nothing to do with Abrego Garcia. I could actually give some more specifics on that apart from your self-admittance less than 10 minutes ago.
I don't know about that, but I think that
yes, you did. Wait. I want to clarify. Don't interrupt me. No, you literally said that that the Alien Enemies Act is neither here nor there in relation to Abrego Garcia.
That's not what I said.
That's what you said verbatim.
No, that is not what I said.
Why are you gaslighting me so fucking hard? Wait, I want to clarify that, yes, the Alien Enemies Act had nothing to do with Abrego Garcia's deportation. First, he invoked the Alien Enemies Act as it relates to quote-unquote invaders from Venezuela, particularly Venezuelan gang members. I have a question. Was Abrego Garcia a Venezuelan gang member? No, he's from El Salvador. Second of all, it is the case that even the White House and Donald Trump admitted that Abrego Garcia's deportation was a mistake and not in accordance with laws previously set forth by the admin, including the invocation of the Alien Enemies Act. So earlier, when you told me that the Alien Enemies Act was neither here nor there in relation to the deportation of Abrego Garcia, you were right, and I just proved it.
Honestly, you talk so fast, I didn't hear a word you fucking
For
said.
sure, I'll slow it down. The alien.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
No,
I'm
no,
really over the
no,
conversation.
no.
I
I think
feel
it's
like
valuable. I think it's valuable.
no, man. It's so like you're not being
No. I think
real
it's.
genuine. Like you're
I think
saying
it's. I think
you're
it's.
saying you don't know something, and then when I say, "Oh yeah, I don't know why they made that ruling
Oh no,
either,"
no, no. Listen,
you're
I
trying to
actually.
say that
I.
I'm
I
saying that the
actually. I
Constitution
actually do
and I
know.
hate
Hey,
America
listen. I actually.
and
I actually
whatever,
do
bro.
know. I actually
So
do know.
like, I mean, like I was pretty nice the whole time.
I'm muting you because I know if I let you finish the monologue, you'll just leave. I want to clarify. I actually do know that the Alien Enemies Act has nothing to do with Abrigo Garcia's deportation. I mean, so did you 10 minutes ago, but you've changed your mind. The reason why the Alien Enemies Act has nothing to do with the deportation of Abrigo... he left anyways. Fuck, he left anyways. They get proven wrong and then they leave. Why are, like, Trump supporters so unfucking willing just to change their mind? We got a runner. Yo, Gradients, thank you so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Direct quote from the Supreme Court: Abrigo Garcia was subject to withholding order forbidding his removal to El Salvador, and the removal to El Salvador to El Salvador was therefore illegal. Damn, Gradients! I wish I would have seen that like literally a minute ago. Thank you so much for the $20 as well as the quote. That's gonna be incredibly fucking meaningful. What's up, Aviation? Do you support Trump?
No, I just want to clarify something. You said
You're based, but we are just looking for Trump supporters to have conversations with, but you're very fucking awesome. As well as, let's see here. Oh my God. Adam with the $300 donation over on PayPal.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, you're driving. I gotta kick you. But let's get 3,000 W. Adams. Let's get 3,000 W. Adams in that fucking chat. Dude! Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Everybody, show some love to Adam down below in that chat right now. I mean, I want to see nothing but W. Adams down below in that chat. It's incredibly kind of you. It's incredibly kind of you. What the fuck? Sid with the $200 super chat on YouTube saying, heard we're showing love to Dean today. Oh, I'm so impressed. Sid. And then Disgusted Veteran with a $50 super chat. Sid, Adam, and Veteran. Holy fucking shit. Everybody, show love to Sid, Adam, and Veteran down below in the chat. Literally right fucking now. You guys are so incredibly kind. I want to see nothing but W sets, W Adams, and W Veterans down below in that chat. Literally right the fuck now. Thank you, you guys, so much. I do not deserve that level of love. I'm just flabbergasted. Everybody, please show some love to Sid, Adam, and Veteran down below in that chat while we hop into this next conversation. That is absolutely insane. Rivers, do you support Trump? They're not even here. All right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just like, oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys, I just, thank you. Thank you.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on, Luke? How are you?
I'm 24.
You support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Oh no. Why would you?
Dude, it's crazy. I don't know. I just think he's good for America, you know?
Oh, in what ways?
Getting all like the bad illegal people out of the country, you know, securing our border. Oh shit.
Yeah, did you know that the deep Luke is gone. Goodbye. Okay. Well, that conversation is over, I guess. We're going to move on to the next guest. If you're MAGA, let me know down below in that chat. We'll get you up on the stream. That guy left incredibly quickly. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yes, I support Trump.
Okay, how old are you?
20.
What year are you born in?
2005, May 2nd.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license?
Do I have to show you?
No, you don't. Just do you.
Okay, I want to talk about the immigration policies.
Yeah, that's fine. But real quick, do you have a driver's license? You're not gonna have to show me or tell me anything on it. Just like a yes or no.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So when you're driving on the road, you see a dotted yellow line next to a solid yellow line. What does that mean?
I love you, Dean. I want to marry you.
We're gonna go to move on to the next guess. Hello, Dennis. How old are you?
Hello?
Hi. How old are you?
I'm 55.
Oh, welcome in, Dennis. You're the same age as my father.
Oh, damn.
Do you support
Pretty
Trump?
young. I voted for him, but that was a bad vote.
Oh, you regret your vote?
I've been going, yeah, that was
Oh, base,
not
bro.
not the best one. But if I could do it all over again, I would vote for
Yeah,
Harris.
hey, Dennis, just know that you can't do it all over again, but you can do it again in 2026, midterms, in 2028, the next general presidential election. Dennis, you're awesome. We love you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, man.
Thank you. I got one thing to ask you,
Let's
to
do
talk
it.
to you about.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on.
I know that you you want a position, but what I have noticed in my area now, I don't know, and I'm trying to get some knowledge from you that you would maybe you can tell me, because I've been watching your lives for a while, just silent, and you seem to be pretty knowledgeable.
Very kind of
And
you.
yeah. I'm passing by. I have an electric car, but I'm still looking when I pass by gas stations. Everybody's saying that it's Trump's fault that gas and stuff has gone. But in California, the highest gas prices are down.
So on the nationwide average, they're up month by month.
Could it be just around my town that the gas prices are down? Well, let's say for Biden's.
Oh, actually,
It was
it does look like
485.
it actually does look like they're down by 60 cents in the last month on the nationwide scale.
Okay, that okay. So it's not only me. Another thing, I went to the store yesterday. I grabbed some Sprite in the plastic bottles. You know, the 20-ounce. That's down. The food is down. So what's going on? Everybody's saying I'm not defending Trump at whatsoever, but I'm seeing that the food is the prices of food is down too.
Yeah. I think that this can be explained by the fact that before Donald Trump implemented his tariffs, big companies knew that they were coming. During the first financial quarter of this year, we saw a 44% increase in imports. Then, of course, GDP growth slowed down because of that. Alongside, consumers were less confident in spending their money and they saved more. So basically, they had more product to sell with a lower demand. So short-term low prices can be expected.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense when I say it out loud. More companies were hoarding imports, so they had more product to sell. Less people are spending their money because they're less confident in the market. Higher supply, lower demand.
Okay. Let's go one more. Egg prices. You're talking about really extremely high egg prices. I go to Costco and I buy the eggs by the dozen, and it's just only $1 up. Then I have spent than usual. Can you explain that? It's $1.
I mean, I actually don't think that like the change in the price of eggs has been like too significantly associated with Biden or Trump. Like there's a bird flu, they had to kill a bunch of them. The price of eggs went up. I think now they're going down. You're saying that they're up by another $1.
Right.
But you know, like I would say, you're shopping at Costco. Costco is kind of is a privilege. They sell in bulk, and they're honestly a pretty good company. They're hyper fixated on providing the lowest prices for their consumers. I'd say on the nationwide scale, we saw a dramatic increase in the price of eggs caused by the bird flu. And as we've now been hatching new eggs and more chickens have been being born, the price of eggs seems to be going down.
Okay.
It was an irregular event in the market, which caused extremely high prices because of a shortage.
Right. And one more thing. I don't know if this is fake news. I know I said one more, but
this is going to be the last one. I'm sorry, Dennis. I want to get back to the
last
debates.
one. Okay, I'm sorry. Does the tariffs a pause on tariffs right now?
Yeah.
Across the board?
Apart from China, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
For how long? They said 90 days?
Yeah, it was a 90-day pause. But Dennis, I appreciate you for coming up, man.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care. You're awesome, dude.
Thank you so much, Dennis. You are awesome as well. What's up, Parker? How old are you? Parker! Parker. Hello, Parker. Do you support Trump? Parker? You and your 18 Silverado? Parker? Looks like Parker's not here, so we're going to move on to the next guest. Somebody in the chat said, Parker, happy to see you. Another Parker. Yo, Al, thank you so much for the $13 over on Venmo. So I'm so freaked out right now. Can you say something comforting? No pressure. I don't know how long you've been going. I'm just feeling so justified in my panic. Listen, I'd say, honestly, if you're at a point where you're really fucking panicking, just take a step back, focus on your interpersonal relationships with those that you love, and take a mental break from what the administration's doing. I'd say that every person definitely should do that when needed to at the expense of your own mental health. When you're really panicking, just kind of step back and do your best. Act like politics don't exist. Obviously, some individuals are going to have significantly more privilege to do that than others. But I'd say when it's getting really bad, just seriously try your best, man, regardless of how much privilege you'd have in doing so. What is going on, Bryant? Do you support Trump?
No, it's a quick question, though.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just going to move on. The last guest we did have up was also not a Trump supporter. We are just looking for a Trump supporter to have a conversation with. Moving on to the next guest, everyone. We got Ladybugs loading into the live. Here we go, everyone. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat if you do want to come up and debate. Somebody says Trump's goated. Your bio reads G59. I hope you're a troll. Hello, what's going on, Looney? How old are you?
I'm 20. I was born in 2005.
2005, what month?
January.
January, phenomenal. So, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, because he was a better choice than Kamala.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Okay.
And
why?
Well, I'm not. So I just want to say something real quick, because you were saying that you were a patriot, right?
Yeah,
so
true patriot.
I want to know. Okay, did you vote for Biden?
No, I didn't. I would have if I was old enough.
Okay. Oh, but you would have, even though he tried to take our guns away and take away our amendment, right? He was a tyrant.
Hell yeah, brother.
He was a tyrant.
Yeah, let's take those guns away.
That's tyrannical. We have the right to bear arms.
Let me ask you a question.
An amendment.
Out of the last two administrations, Biden-Harris, then Trump-Pence, only one of those administrations passed gun control. Which one was it?
Last I knew, it was Biden.
No, Biden didn't pass any gun control, but Trump did.
Trump is literally pushing. Trump is pushing for felons to have the right to own guns.
Lenny, do you mind if you let me finish?
Because okay.
So out of the last two administrations, Biden-Harris, then Trump-Pence, the only administration to pass any gun control was the Trump administration. And to make it worse, the gun control they passed, bump stock bans, was inevitably ruled as unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, meaning that Trump literally violated your 2A amendment, your constitutional protections under 2A. Okay. And then to make it even worse, he also did an interview with Mike Pence where he straight up said that we should take criminals' guns first and then give them due process second. Seems like Trump's the only tyrant here.
But he's literally pushing for felons to have their guns.
Is he now?
Yes, he is.
Interesting. Doesn't change anything that I
know. I know a lot of felons that have been talking about how they're going to have the right to own a gun again and protect their house from the illegal immigrants that leaked in under Biden's administration.
Oh, so he
Do you-
wants criminals to have guns to kill undocumented migrants.
No, to protect themselves because illegal immigrants were coming. Did you see what they were doing to
Hey, Larry,
apartments in
I
Chicago
have
and
a
shit?
question. Are you a natural U.S. born citizen?
Yes, I am.
You're statistically speaking 2 times more likely to commit a violent crime than an undocumented migrant. So when you phrase this example of Donald Trump wanting more people to be able to own guns to protect themselves against others, seemingly like your first order concern should be citizens. Because citizens are per capita 2 times more likely to commit violent crimes than undocumented migrants. Not to mention that there's a lot more citizens than undocumented migrants. You should 99% of your concerns about violent crime should be directed to citizens.
Well, I just think that everybody should have the right to own a gun and protect their house and themselves.
Okay, so respond to what I said
And-
specifically about the example that you gave referencing undocumented immigrants. I would really appreciate it if you'd engage with what I'm saying compared to kind of
Okay,
shifting
well,
the goalpost.
you cut me off first of all and didn't even let me finish my sentence. I was going to say, what about the illegal immigrants that went to Chicago? And it wasn't even just in Chicago. There was multiple states where they were pulling up and taking over full apartments. We had illegal immigrants living in hotels, and American citizens could not get a hotel and sleep in them because of the fact that they were filled with illegal immigrants. And on top of that, the illegal immigrants were getting way more money in food stamps than us. And they were just getting money thrown at them by our government while we were left to starve. And that was because of Biden, Joe Biden, the liberals. Illegal immigrants.
I have an idea.
I am not.
Can we do something?
I'm not, wait. Let me say this
Oh,
one thing because
you're
I
still
seen someone in the
grandstanding.
chat.
Continue
in the
to
chat say that
grandstand.
I was racist.
I didn't
No.
mean to interrupt your
Hey, bro.
grandstand.
Somebody in the chat just called me racist. I'm not racist. I think that there's a right thing to do, a right way to do things, and a wrong way to do things. You should not come to our country illegally. You can
What
do
a Freudian slip! What a Freudian slip! I've never heard a worse Freudian slip in my fucking life. That was crazy. That was crazy.
What did I say that was crazy?
Yeah, you said there's a white way to do right way to do things. You accidentally said white instead of right.
Okay, but see how you're trying to make it seem like I'm racist for mispronouncing a word. I'm sorry for not having a.
Come on.
What do you mean?
You said, and
I
I
have
quote,
a speech problem. I was in speech classes since I was in elementary school. You fucking idiot.
You said, and I quote, "I'm not racist. There's a white way." And then you corrected yourself.
I meant to say right way. I have a speech impediment, you dumbass. I've been in speech classes since elementary.
I'm absolutely fine to believe you. Okay, I'll believe you. But I think it was so justified for me to point that out and call that a Freudian slip.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I could see why you pointed it out, but I didn't purposely see it. There was no intention behind it. I just struggle with speaking.
I'll believe you. I will. I'll believe you. But listen, okay, I still do think that you are racist.
Okay, you can think that.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't believe in race. I believe in human beings.
And one of the reasons that I think you might be racist was because how you framed gun ownership. Okay? I am so sick and tired of people using undocumented migrants to paint a villain for everybody to consume each other into a larger group because of the hate, the animosity, and the fear they have for this false depiction of undocumented migrants as these violent criminals. Okay, but you're only further perpetuating that image, that false depiction of undocumented migrants, when you tell me that we need to ensure that felons have the right to own guns to protect themselves from undocumented migrants. Now listen, you also shared quite a few misconceptions about the truth. You said that undocumented migrants were living in hotels, they were getting more food stamps than citizens, and the Biden administration was just throwing money at them. Hey, I have a question. What level of conviction do you have in these claims? A lot or a little?
What do you mean?
How confident are you that those claims are true?
I'm pretty confident.
Okay. Do you want to bet?
Do I want to bet? Yeah, let's bet.
How much?
Oh, you want to bet actual money? You think I'm going to give you money?
You'd only give me money if you were wrong, and seemingly you're confident you're not. So, in other words, you're confident that you're not going to be giving me money. In fact, one could even say you'd be confident that I'd be giving you money. So.
Okay, I guess, bro.
So how much?
I'm not betting money on it.
But you're confident that if we were to bet, I'd give you.
Yeah,
money.
I can be confident. I can be confident that I'm right and still end up being wrong.
Okay, I like.
I'm not one of those people who thinks I'm right all the time.
So food stamps. Let's start there. You said undocumented migrants get more food stamps than American citizens. USDA, okay, which is the federal organization that oversees the federal allocation of expenditure for food stamps, states in plain text on their website that non-citizens are not eligible to receive food stamp SNAP benefits through them. Okay? I want to make that very clear. So they do not receive federal benefits for food stamps. The second claim about living in hotels. First, let's examine where that claim comes from. That claim comes from migrants living in the Roosevelt hotels, as well as other hotels in New York City. So let's look at who those migrants are. Are they undocumented? No. Are they legal, documented refugees and asylum seekers? Yes. What does this mean? Your claim that undocumented illegal migrants are living in hotels is not true. The last claim that you made was that Biden was throwing money at them. That claim is false. Now, of course, I can't prove your claim wrong, so I'm just simply going to have you prove it right, and you won't be able to, and that will prove my claim for me. Name one allocation of federal expenditure that Biden spent on undocumented migrants.
Can you repeat that?
Name one allocation of federal expenditure that Biden spent on undocumented migrants. One federal program that benefits undocumented migrants.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Because they don't exist.
Okay.
So all three of your claims there were wrong.
Okay, and I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna get mad. I still believe that Trump was a better candidate than Kamala.
Okay, why?
Well, Kamala, she literally told I don't care what her name is.
Okay,
First of all, she lied about her race, which is weird.
Oh.
She said she was black when she's not black. She's like Indian or something.
Okay.
And
real quick, do you mind if I ask you a question? I actually have 3 questions for you. The first question for you is your race American?
was I raised American?
No.
Yes,
Is your race American?
No, well, my race is human. If I don't really believe in race, I believe that everybody's human. It's the human race.
So it's funny. So it's called horseshoe theory. When you go so far right, you start to bleed in left. He's so fucking racist that he doesn't believe in race, which aligns with a leftist perspective of viewing race as a social construct created to perpetuate oppression against black individuals.
So Bruce Lee was racist?
I just want to point that out. I think that's funny. I want to finish this out. So you said her race was Indian. Okay. Indian's not a race. Indian is a nationality. What you mean to say is South Asian. Okay, next question. How many parents do you have?
2.
Okay, you have 2 parents.
Yeah.
How many parents does Kamala Harris have?
I don't know. I don't care about her life that much.
Okay, so everyone has 2 parents, right?
Well,
in the sense of individuals that were necessary for the biological parents, I should say.
Yes.
So everybody has 2 biological parents, right?
Yes.
So Kamala Harris has how many biological parents?
2.
Okay, and you get your DNA, your expression of phenotypical traits, etc., from how many of those 2 people? Both of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So she's South Asian. That is true because her mother's South Asian, but she's also black because her father's black.
Since when?
Since he was born as an Afro-Jamaican.
That's news to me.
Well, I know. You don't do any research before you say that black women aren't black to further perpetuate racism against black women. I get it. No, just kidding. I don't get it. That was very facetious and satirical.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter, though, because both sides are ran by the same person, right? And what you're doing is dividing people, which is
both sides are ran by the same person.
Yeah, they're ran
anti-Semite.
by the
Oh!
Exactly.
Oh, man!
Anti-Semite. They're not
Jinx!
even children of Shem.
Jinx!
They're not even children of Shem.
Jinx! Oh, Jinx!
They're not
Oh,
even
Jeeks!
children of Shem. They are not
Jeeks!
Semites.
I
They are not
gotcha!
Semites.
Jeeks!
They are not
I
Semites.
gotcha!
Yeah, why does every president have
The
to pay
plot
homage to
thickens!
Israel?
The
Why
plot
does
thickens,
every
everybody!
even the Jewish people in Israel
the
don't like the
plot
American
thickens!
Jews?
The plot
Okay.
thickens!
Okay. Be a brainwashed.
Bam! So yeah, moving on to the next guest. We got Levon loading up into the stream. All right. We're going to get the next guest up into the stream. Veteran, thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on YouTube saying you're fighting the impossible fight, and I salute you. Yo, Veteran, I appreciate you for the love. Everybody, let's show some love to Veteran down below in the chat for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. You know what? Honestly, at times, including right now, this fight does feel a little bit fucking impossible. I will absolutely affirm that. That is true, Mr. Veteran. As well as Jojo, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. If you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds over those platforms. They all go straight to me, as well as in there in the pinned message over on the YouTube stream, as well as you'll get a shout out because I'll be able to read off your name in an attached message. What is going on, Joshua? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir. Hey, I spoke to you yesterday, but I did my research now. And so, because you said I didn't do my research, so I thought I'd do my research. Yes, remember?
How long was our conversation?
It was roughly about 10 minutes.
And it ended with you not doing your research and then leaving?
No. We agreed to disagree because I didn't do my research on my stuff, and I said I'd get back with you once I did my research.
What was the claim about?
The claim was on how the tariffs and the Doge implementations weren't paying off at all.
Oh, like an argument that like the tariffs will lead to a long-term gain. Let's hear it. I'll hear you out. I will.
I made a claim.
Oh, you're lagging, Joshua, and it shows that you're impossible.
Fitted off the tariffs.
Here's yeah. Joshua.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Joshua's not doing too well.
My bad. My Wi-Fi turned on.
Chat, can you guys hear Joshua
right there?
now? Or can you not hear him because it shows that he's teacupped? You can't hear him. Joshua, swipe in and out of the app for me. No, you guys can't hear him. I get that.
You there?
Yeah, now you're back. Go ahead. All right, give me the argument. I know that you're over on YouTube can't hear him. Give me the argument that Donald Trump's tariffs will lead to a total long-term gain. Now you're out of the app again. If you can't see me, I can't hear you. Fun fact, quite frankly.
Oh, okay. Does it not have picture-in-picture? Because I did the notes and whatever. Because I didn't want to come at this.
I'm sorry, there's not a picture-in-picture.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, anyways, basically, don't. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Okay, anyways, I did my research on how the prices on different stuff that average Americans buy. And yes, they did take a very high incline when Donald Trump was elected into office. But on certain things, like certain major imports that China did massively produce, now that they have moved production to other countries, many of those things, such as car parts and all that stuff, have gone down in price. And you can look that up.
Okay. So you cannot move your production in 2 months. It actually takes 6 years. Additionally, if what you meant by move production is buying,
I'm not talking about companies moving production. I'm talking about
just buying from manufacturers in other countries.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So no. The reason why I'm saying this is because essentially what you're telling us is that we could get a car part from China for $5, but then we could get it from I don't know, Canada for $2. Okay, well if that was true, you would
with the tariffs, it evens out. Yeah, you can finish, but
if that was the case, then we would have bought it from Canada in the first place.
Yeah, I know.
So what you're saying cannot be the case.
The Chinese product is better and more mass produced, so it was easier to get. But now, since the tariffs have made it more expensive, that's why we were choosing the said Canadian product in this thing now.
Okay, but
so,
all things considered, it's still going to be more expensive. Think about it this way: you're saying that the car part from China is $5, the car part, the same car part from, let's say Canada is $6, so you're going to buy it from China. Okay, but then
the tariffs add. taxes and import fees. Am I not wrong?
Joshua, you got to let me finish, man. I promise I'm going to get around to exactly what you're referencing, but you got to be able to let me
All right.
talk.
I'm letting you talk.
Okay, I'm not going to give you pushback because you said notes, but no, you weren't. You interrupted me. Anyways,
okay.
Let's assume that you could get an identical car part from China for $5, and you could get the same car part from Canada for $6. Obviously, you're going to be going to China for that car part and spending $5. But then the tariffs hit, and then all of a sudden that car part from please don't interrupt me, from China is $10, right? But that car part from Canada is still $6. Okay.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is then you source from Canada and you get the lower price. Well, it's only the lower price compared to what the new price of the good produced in Canada is. It is not a lower price compared to what you've been paying for the good historically, meaning that inflation still occurs because you're paying more for the product after the tariffs on China were implemented than before the tariffs on China were implemented.
Okay. Now listen to my ultimatum. I think that's the word. Is that the word? Ultimatum?
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, so what my next point is, in the long run, when they do move factories for these said $6 items, and as it has been stated, I think it's around 15 or 12 major manufacturers have said they will move their base of manufacturing to America, which will bring more American jobs, higher GDP per capita, well, for certain states, and will also grow the U.S. economy. And doing so, and it's going to take time, obviously. Like all things have consequences now and then long-term consequences. So yes, it's going to take a while for these to be shown, but as we're already seeing with, I'm not going to refer back to the stock market because the stock market, is so up and down. You can never, in my opinion, you can never base in the long term a president's decision on the stock market. Short term, yes, but long term, no. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'm going to disagree with what you said, that these tariffs are going to send more companies to produce in America. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Can we agree that for these companies to move to America, that they'd have to have confidence that the tariffs imposed on the country they're moving from are there to stay?
Yes, 100%. I agree with that.
Donald Trump's tariffs on other countries are self-admittedly not there to stay, and he's using them as a negotiation tactic to get other countries to reduce their own tariffs on us. So, in other words, Donald Trump's tariffs will not incentivize companies to move their production into America.
But a lot of them have, just because they don't want to face if there is possible tariffs in the future.
Like who?
I'm not saying that they won't.
Like who?
I mean, I'm not saying that they won't, but I'm saying some have.
I don't believe that like multinational trillion or billion dollar corporations are going to spend billions of dollars and reorganize their manufacturing structure and spend 3 to 6 years to build facilities inside of America based upon speculation. So which companies are specifically referring to?
Ready? Okay. Toyota is opening a major manufacturing thing. I'm pretty sure in Texas. But I'm pretty sure it's Toyota, one of the Chinese manufacturing companies. And also, another thing is, the whole thing about British steel, and this is outside of the U.S., of course, but it's just another thing of where so basically the British Parliament forced British steel to back open, but with a new owner. So now it used to be a Chinese-owned steel manufacturing business that would ship all their steel back to China, but now it is for the British people. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of these
thank you so
Chinese...
much for the flying jets. I do really appreciate you so much for that love. That's incredibly kind. Thank you so much.
But for all these Chinese-based companies, a lot of them are becoming more American independent. That's what I'm trying to say.
So Toyota is already produced in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And it has been for a long time, as well as they're Japanese, not Chinese.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything.
I wasn't trying to racialize there.
And
I just didn't know this exact specifications.
I'm gonna ignore that. As well as I don't see Toyota included in any statement about moving for more U.S. expansion in response to Trump's tariffs. Listen, at the end of the day, these companies just simply are not going to move manufacturing into America. if he's going to be using these tariffs as a tool to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries, which he is, because they're going to have confidence that they're there to stay. I think that we saw like a lot of companies kind of like jump at the gate and say that they're kind of like assessing opportunities to expand into U.S. production in response to Donald Trump's tariffs originally. But I think his intentions became more clear to simply use them as a tool to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries. Like inevitably, like this isn't going to happen.
Okay. Now my next statement. These, looking at it from a independent standpoint, not from a liberal or conservative standpoint. With these trade deals, do you?
Uh-oh. Chat, the YouTube stream, the TikTok stream just fucking crashed. What the fuck just happened? My whole app just crashed. Dude, the whole app just crashed. Ruh-roh. Hey, sorry, Joshua, did I go on pause?
Yeah, you went on pause.
It's because my entire TikTok app just crashed.
Oh, pimp.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay, so what I was saying, that's actually funny. You were like sitting there for 2 minutes. I thought you were like trying to make a joke or something. I don't even know. All right. Anyways, no, what I was saying though is coming from an independent standpoint, not even being liberal or conservative, because I'm not trying to come this as because the only way that we can come to a said agreement is if we both look at this through an open mind. I'm coming at this with I know your thing is like to argue, and I'm not against that. I know like you're trying to change people's minds, and no matter what side you're on, everyone wants to show people their said truth, and even religions and everything. When people have strong beliefs, everyone should have strong.
Lay it on me. Lay it on me. What's the point?
Okay. So, do you agree that some of these trade? Forget about the guy. Forget about who he is. But do you agree some of these trade policies will affect future generations for the better?
No.
You don't any of them. None of them. So nothing this guy does.
My thoughts there are okay. Well, let's assume that he is able to coerce a bunch of companies into getting a bunch of countries into getting them to reduce their tariffs on us because we're now imposing tariffs on them. And like, sure, that's really going to end up like fucking us over for the reasons I already listed for the next couple of years. But let's just say like a generation from now, 20 years down the road, all of a sudden we've rebounded from the consequences of the tariffs, such as like, a recession, etc. And now we just have these longer lasting trade agreements with lower tariffs. That's going to have some positive impact for the American people. It's going to be rather low. It's just going to like slightly bump our imports. And I don't think that this will have a net benefit because like the long-term negative impact is severely eroded relationships with every other country on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Right.
I see your point on that.
That has to be considered. But Joshua, I do appreciate you for coming up. I'm going to move on to the next guest. And it crashed again. Oh, it's back.
One more thing.
All right, Joshua, what is it?
One more question. Yeah, your app keeps crashing.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Now I hear an echo.
What's your last question?
Okay, my last question is, so do you agree that China was taking what's it called? They needed to be put in their place because they were not listening to different trade rules and all of that. So do you agree that they deserve the tariffs that were
what trade rules were they not listening to?
So underage labor, that's one. And the fact that they would reprice and say that they were making so much of a certain product. But you understand that his
tariffs didn't just impact companies with immoral means of production. It impacted every single company operated inside of China.
Yeah. Yes. But I'm saying, China,
you're actually arguing for something
that's run by the government.
You're arguing something that like Trump didn't do. Okay, Trump didn't put. Trump didn't announce his tariffs to reduce, like immoral means of production. Absolutely, that's not what he did at all because he tariffed every single company operated inside of the country. Okay, you're acting as if Donald Trump passed policy that he didn't. Like, sure, if he passed policy that specifically only tariffed companies producing inside of China, taking advantage of immoral means of production, you'd be right. Okay, but then you're wrong for a second reason because the tariffs on China aren't here to fucking stay. He's saying that the tariffs on China are only being increased
with the
to
lasting
achieve
impact
a
that these tariffs
trade.
has caused.
Whoa, Joshua, just give me a second. No, you're not gonna. If you interrupt me again, I'm gonna put you on mute. So
You're the one yelling. So you're not even gonna lie.
So he didn't just place these tariffs on companies in which use immoral means of production. He placed them on every single company operating inside of the country. And then B, the tariffs aren't there to stay. They're not there to punish the immoral means of production. They're being used as a tool to leverage a better trade agreement with the country, meaning that it will only make it easier for Americans to buy from companies operating inside of China that use immoral means of production. Like, do you think inevitably after he does this master 60 chess move and he achieves lower tariffs on China, which also implies China having lower tariffs on us, that we'll import more or less from the country?
Yep. Okay.
Will we import more or less from the country?
Let me come back to part of it.
No. I want to ask you a question. Will we achieve more or less imports from China, given that he's able to reduce our tariffs on them and their tariffs on us?
Okay, I'll come back to that. I promise you I will. I'm just going to talk about a part that you said. Okay, his trade deals, they have different things that they have to meet to be able to get those trade deals reducted and those tariffs taken back. It's not just to get cheaper prices. Yes, that is the main benefit, but also he is making them go under certain rules to keep these tariffs low.
According to who?
ChatGPT.
Yeah, try again.
I can't get out of the app real quick, but yeah, but look it up. Like, he's not just going to say, we're going to release the tariffs if you give us for a cheaper price. He's going to have certain specifications that they have to meet to get those prices low. And the reason he did to every company is because inside China, and yet the government has control of every company if they want it.
So I just want to let you know that what you just said is actually false. So you could look up the White House fact sheet. President Donald J. Trump secures a historic trade win for the United States. This was published today. And this talks about a trade deal with China, where we're both agreeing to a certain extent reduce the tariffs that we have imposed on one another, and it includes absolutely nothing about China taking advantage of immoral means of production. Why did you lie?
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I said that was one of the reasons.
No, it's not.
You read the whole article. Don't just read the headline.
I did. I just read through the whole thing. It's like maybe 500 words. It's super easy to read. And it's actually broken into different categories.
Read 500 words in 5 seconds.
And so far as around 30. Insofar as what Americans' actions will be, working towards a rebalance and addressing the F crisis, absolutely nothing about achieving better and more moral means of production.
Okay, I wasn't talking about today. I was talking about in the long run because he has stated that is one of the reasons.
Oh, no, he hasn't. Stop lying.
Yes, he has.
Literally, stop fucking lying.
Oh, don't be cussing, bro. There's no point.
Okay, I'm sorry for cussing. You're still lying.
No, I'm just saying you're getting pressed, like for no reason, like.
Okay, well, I want to clarify. I'm not pressed. I'm definitely being assertive because I have a statement from Trump in Trump's White House saying that what you're saying is false.
Okay, but where does it say it's false? Just because it doesn't have a.
Okay, now I'm pressed. Now I'm fucking pissed. Now I'm actually getting pissed because you're saying that you could just assume whatever you want to be true of Donald Trump's actions towards other countries or towards policy. No, Joshua, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Now I'm getting pressed. Yes, now I'm upset. Now I'm pissed. The reason why I'm pressed, the reason why I'm upset, the reason why I'm pissed is because of what you just said. You just told me that you get to assume whatever the fuck you want to be true of Trump's administration and what he's doing. You get to just spawn justification out of thin air to justify what he's doing. You just get to go poof. You get to say that Donald Trump is doing shit that he's not doing, that he hasn't announced what he's doing, even though he's announced that he's doing other things that aren't that. And as long as he hasn't specifically said that he's not doing what you're saying he's doing, then you get to justifiably assume that he is doing it. That's insane. That is so insane. You know what? Because in this statement from the White House, he didn't say that he's not going to require China to genocide a third of their population in order to get America to reduce our tariffs on them. This means that one criteria that Trump is demanding China fulfill, given a better trade agreement, is that they have to genocide a third of their own population.
All right, I see what you're saying, and I'm not even trying to argue, bro. because some of the stuff you're saying is factual, and you're looking it up, and you have the computer right there. But I'm not even lying. I did read part of it where it was one of the things, but if it's not okay, I read the wrong thing. But here's what I'm saying. Purple is made out of red and blue. Can you see red or blue in purple? No, you can't. But it's a part of it. So that's what I'm saying. And
yeah, just like it's a part of it that he's also going to require China to genocide a third of their population.
there's fine lining and everything. You know
yeah,
that.
Yeah, there's fine lining and everything. That's why I think he's also going to
pigs.
require that China genocides a third of their own population.
What do you mean genocides?
Like,
they already genocide. They already had that genocide law a while ago.
Donald Trump is going to require China to slaughter a third of their population in order for us to reduce our tariffs on them in the long term, of course.
Oh, really? Oh, I'd like to see that.
Oh,
what website?
Yeah, my evidence is that he didn't say he's not going to require them to do that in his press statement today. Sound familiar?
Not going to require to genocide them?
Yeah, he never said he's not going to make that requirement.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I was so confused. I thought you were making a factual statement, like that he's going to make them too.
Yeah, he didn't say in his press release today, insofar as what his goals are and why he's reducing our tariffs on China, that he's not going to require them to kill a third of their own population. Therefore, he is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, historically speaking, they did already have that law where they could only have like 2 kids, and then they had to kill them. But they did away with that. But, anyways.
Remember when American settlers killed 50 to 100 million Native Americans?
Okay, that's just low-key America raw with an eagle for real. You gotta say you wouldn't be here if we didn't succeed in World War II. So.
Larry, feel free to unmute. Hi, Larry. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do. This is my dad's account.
You have a little bit of an echo. That echo's so loud that I'm just gonna kick you. Dude, did somebody... Amanda Encinas, I just invited you to join the live. I'd love to talk. So Amanda Encinas just said that I lost that last debate because I kicked him after he said, America raw with an eagle for real, in response to me saying that that the colonizers genocided 50 to 100 million indigenous Americans. Okay. Yeah, please join. That'd be nice. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute to get the next guest up in here. If you are MAGA, let me know down below in that chat, and I will get you up here. I would really like to thank, let's see here. Who is it? Elise, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, as well as Jonda with the $15 on Venmo saying, Dean, I love you. That's all. Huge shout out to Jonda down below in that chat. Jonda, I love you too. I hope that you're doing well. Jonda, I actually saw you in the queue the other day. I brought you up, and I don't think that you were at the phone at the moment, but I did see you in there. Shout out Jonda. We love Jonda. What's going on, user? Do you support Trump? Okay, user found is playing video games. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute to get our next guest, Sean Cunning, up in the live. Here we go. Lauren, thank you so much for the shell energy. That is incredibly kind of you, and I do really appreciate you so much for the love. And we got the next guest loading in right now, quite frankly. Sean is loading up. Imagine kicking him because he lost a debate, Jordan, and I hop up on the stream, stop being a comment warrior, come up and engage in a conversation. Come on, Jordan, Hannah, that'd be super sweet. While we're moving on to the next guest, who is it? We're going to go to get that next guest up at the box. Please, if you are in the queue, make sure that you do indeed support Trump. We are just looking for some debates, quite frankly. That is the truth. Samuel Crowder's loading up into the box. Next guest is loading in. Here we go. Just looking for the next guest. I don't know why. It doesn't look like there's a lot of Trump supporters that want to debate me. Not a lot of Trump supporters that want to debate me, everybody. Not a lot of Trump supporters, indeed. They're all gone. They're all gone. All the Trump supporters are gone. They're gone so fast. They're all gone. Hello, Log Barn. Do you support Trump?
Yo,
Hey,
yes,
what's
I
up?
do.
We got 3 people on the live. Quiet at once. Clown, do you support Trump?
Oh, really? No shit.
Okay, I can tell
That's
you're going
bro's
to
attitude. Bro's attitude's
Oh,
crazy.
Someone's offended already.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Hey, Log
Let's
Barn
not be a
and
batch.
Hey, Log Barn and Clown. You guys Trump supporters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't support government.
Okay, so
What do you support?
So it's Log Barn.
Biden, who's retarded.
Okay, and then it's Log Barn.
Yeah, see,
look at Look at that. Isn't that funny how that works?
Well, I'm just the only one, huh? Left.
I guess you're the only one left. So why do you support Trump?
So I support Trump. I know like the tariffs thing is not great, but I kind of do support him for that
I'm sorry, I
because
gotta cut you off. I gotta cut you off. Sid, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love, Sid. Gotta read this message. Charlie Kirk just followed my dad on Instagram. He's obsessed! He's obsessed! He's obsessed. So if you know, you know. Sid's a really big community member. And here all the time, even better in person at Texas. And after, for the last couple days, Sid's been trying to get me to debate her dad. In fact, she even like came up on the stream yesterday and put him on the mic, but he inevitably didn't want to debate. And then she sent another follow-up message saying that her dad doesn't want to debate me because he thinks that I'm pretentious. And apparently Charlie Kirk has been in the know. Charlie Kirk's been hanging out in the streams. And because of that, Charlie Kirk then sought out Sid's dad on Instagram and dropped him a follow. You cannot make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. That's insane. That's crazy. Take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
So I think right now I feel like the tariffs are kind of in a rocky spot, but I do like what he is trying to tell the world because we have been getting ripped off. I mean, that is just true, right? We are the world's piggy bank. Well, for instance, with China, right? They don't follow. They were in a trade agreement. They didn't follow any rules. No one held them accountable.
Wait, so we should hold leaders accountable that violate trade agreements?
Like that? Yeah.
Okay, so Donald Trump violated the USMCA when he imposed tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Should we hold him accountable?
Are the tariffs still on?
He put them on, then he paused them for 90 days. So
well, the issue is
violated the USMCA. Should we hold him accountable?
No, and I'll tell you why.
So we shouldn't leaders accountable that violate.
Well, no. I feel like this is different. I feel like this is different because you can't get in a trade war with China without tariffing everyone because they're just going to redirect their stuff. So it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to screw over everybody to get them to the table.
So how come Donald Trump's been able to bring them to the table without screwing over everyone else? I mean, he paused the tariffs.
Well, everyone else has tariffs on them.
No, they're all paused.
Well, right now. Yeah. Then he also just paused China's, right?
So yeah, so today actually he reduced tariffs on China because he was able to get them to slightly reduce tariffs on us. But the negotiation of this deal has been in a time period where he hasn't had tariffs on all other countries because they've been paused. So you're wrong.
Oh, well, that's true. I don't think that's even true. But
wait, which part of
it's also just the threat of it. Like if you put it on in place and pause it, I don't think that's really breaking a trade agreement. That's kind of just I think either way.
Which part of what I said wasn't true? Once again, I'm specifically responding to the claim that you said in order to deal with China, you also have to fuck over every other country in the world. So today, Trump proclaimed a W, bringing China to the table. And
that was a W. That wasn't a proclaim.
And he's been able to do this without fucking all the other countries ever because the tariffs on them have been suspended.
Well, yeah, when you have the threat of it, China, what is China going to do about it?
Oh, so now you're shifting the goalpost from not, so you don't actually have to fuck over every other country. You just have to threaten to fuck over every other country.
Well, kind of. I mean, if you threaten tariffs on it, you kind of are screwing up the entire, all the countries, right? I mean.
Okay, so Donald Trump had to threaten to tariff every other country, tariff them and suspend them in order to deal with China. Yeah, I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's why he did it, or you don't think that's how that works?
I don't think that's how it works, and I don't think that's why he did it.
So you think if there was no threat of any tariff anywhere else, they wouldn't just redirect their trade route through there?
It sounds plausible, but they could be doing that
because
right now too.
They've done it before. They've done this before, so.
What you're saying sounds plausible, but if it was true, they'd be doing it right now.
Oh yeah, well that's because there's a threat of everywhere else.
Okay, and
so they can't really do it.
Yeah, they can.
All right, no, if they got caught doing that, they're just going to add tariffs to that place.
They have absolutely no control over the tariffs on other countries.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is if they got caught doing that, he already threatened to put tariffs on everybody, so he's just going to put tariffs on them.
How do you know that? How do you know if Chinese companies were caught doing that, he'd increase tariffs on other countries? How do you know that?
Well, because if he threatens tariffs on countries who don't already do it, when they do something he doesn't like them doing, obviously, like he would probably
So in
put the
other words,
tariffs back on it.
so in other words, this is pure speculation that you have no evidence for.
Well, yeah. I'm just assuming that if he threatened tariffs on places
How about we talk
with
about
them
things
not
that
breaking
are?
any rules.
How about we talk about things that aren't speculation that you do have
Oh,
evidence
sure,
for?
sure. So here is my issue with the left, and this is why I didn't vote on the right, like left this time, is because I know both sides just blatantly lie, but to claim these tariffs weren't working and that China's winning this, for them to come to the table after losing 2.2 million jobs last month. There's videos of banks closing, or like protests happening.
It's been going on for a while. In fact, their GDP has been on the decline since
Yeah,
2021.
so why were people saying that putting tariffs on them wouldn't work and that they would win it? Because last month we had
So
117,000 jobs created,
I think my
and
claim
they
is that
lost 2
tariffing
million.
other countries are bad. Like that's a bad idea.
To bring them to like the table, or
Yeah, that's a
just
terrible.
a bad.
That's a terrible way to bring them to the table.
Well, how else would you bring China to like the table? How else would you do that?
Offering them a trade agreement.
You think that's going to work?
Yeah, that's a significant. Well,
Well-
I think it'd work better than tariffing every other country on Earth.
Well, they were in a trade agreement and then they broke it.
Which one?
So
Just out of
it
curiosity,
doesn't
which
work.
one?
Weren't they in the trade agreement with pretty much all of us?
What is it called?
Hold up,
Are you talking about the TPP?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Donald Trump pulled out of the TPP in his first administration. That was him.
Well, weren't they in it?
I don't know. You're claiming that they were. Donald Trump pulled out of the TPP in his first term.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're in it and they still break.
Why does that concern us? Donald Trump left the TPP.
Well, wait. So do you think they're fairly trading over there? You think that's what's happening?
What do you mean by fair trade?
Like, you think that the whole system we have right now was a good idea?
Actually, so the U.S. led the TPP negotiations and deliberately excluded China from its negotiations. So it looks like we've actually deliberately not pursued diplomacy with China.
Because they don't follow any rules.
China doesn't follow any rules.
They absolutely don't even. You can't even say or claim they follow any rules.
Even if it were to benefit them?
No, them screwing us over benefits them more than us all working together.
Wait. So you think China not being in a trade agreement with America benefits China? How?
Because they don't have to follow the rules. If they're not in a trade agreement with us, they can do whatever they want, which they have been doing.
But the issue is that trade agreements help countries. It's mutually beneficial. That's why they exist, to reduce barriers to trade.
Yeah, with countries that are willing to follow them.
They'd be willing to follow
Like
them
with
because
friendly countries, not when you have a country who.
But you understand that like countries are willing to follow trade agreements, not just because
They
they're
are
friendly,
not.
but
They are not.
because it benefits the country.
No, but they don't.
Okay,
That's what everyone's saying.
So then you're saying that China would be doing stuff that would hurt them.
They do. They do.
So what I'm saying here is them going into a trade agreement and violating it would hurt them.
No, because no one's going to do anything about it, and they know that. Just like with Russia, how many war crimes has Russia made, and no one's done anything about it?
So wait,
because we can't.
So I just want to clarify that you're saying having higher tariffs on China helps China?
Well, they didn't know Trump was going to do that. This wasn't. They had Biden.
No, because you're saying that China violating a trade agreement would help China. Okay, well, in other words, that means China accepting higher tariffs compared to lower tariffs because of the trade agreement would help China. Therefore, you're saying higher
before
tariffs on
the
China helps
tariffs.
China.
I'm talking about before the tariffs. Before the tariffs, it benefited them because no one. It's the same thing. I'm going to use Russia as an example. How many war crimes?
How would having higher tariffs compared to lower tariffs because of a trade agreement benefit them?
Well, I'll tell you. Because in China, for instance, U.S. cars aren't a thing, right? Because they go in there with a scratch on it, you have to send it back. They get more money when people buy their own cars.
So then why has their GDP been shrinking for the last 3 years?
Past 3 years?
Yeah.
Well, because they just have way too many people. I mean that's just, like they're going.
Well, actually, having a lot of people would seemingly be good for the GDP.
No, not when you have
gross domestic product. Yeah, benefits from a larger populace.
No. That's why they did like the whole 2-kid thing, because they were getting too much people.
And what does this
and
have
they
to
didn't
do?
have.
What does this have to do with my claim?
Wait, which claim are you going based off? The one where how tariffs would hurt
going
them
into a
or
trade
help
agreement with China would be mutually beneficial both for America and for China. So why would China violate it?
Because nobody would do anything about it. That's what I'm telling you. Can I please give you one example of this, please?
The reason why what you're saying is wrong is because they have self-interested reasons to not violate the trade agreement. Okay?
Yes, but they don't follow rules.
Logan, I need you to listen to me closely.
Okay.
Typically, somebody's going to follow a rule because of why?
So they don't get in
because
trouble?
if they break the rule, somebody does something about it and they get hurt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If China was to go into a trade agreement with America and violate the trade agreement, they're no longer a part of it, they still get hurt because they're no longer a part of the trade agreement and they have to pay more tariffs and there's more barriers to trade. So in other words, like when you violate a trade agreement, you hurt yourself without anybody else doing anything about it because you're no longer a part of the trade agreement.
No, you don't hurt yourself
Yes, you
until
do.
you have a president who's like, screw you, basically, right? And I'll give you an example of this.
When you violate a trade agreement, it hurts you because you're no longer part of the trade agreement. So then there's more barriers to trade.
Wait.
More barriers to trade
example.
hurts you compared to less barriers to trade that helps you.
Well, the issue is if
You're not
when they
even
go in a
responding to
trade
what I'm saying.
agreement.
You're so fucking
No,
wrong.
I am.
Name one trade agreement China's violated.
I wish I had my laptop next to me. It's just pretty obvious they don't follow rules. I mean, no one's disputing that, I don't think, right? You think they follow rules?
You can't. Oh my god. I think it's super sweet that you can't tell me. Like, name one trade agreement that helps them.
Well, I just don't have my laptop next to me. But I'm gonna give you example. I'm gonna give you example.
So what's your argument?
Because maybe I'm wording this wrong.
What the fuck is your argument?
My argument is that him putting the pressure on China and all these other countries that just rip us off is a good thing.
How does China rip us off?
The way he's been going about it.
How does China rip us
questionable.
off?
How does China rip us off?
Yeah.
So wait. So is your claim that they have
my
free
question,
and fair trade?
My question is, how do they rip us off?
They lie about their currency to inflate prices. They don't export or import what they should import from us. They scam everybody. I mean, look at their country.
Okay,
Look at their. They have 6-year-olds working factory jobs.
Let's start with a point. They don't import what they should import, and that's ripping us off. How?
Because we're just their piggy bank.
So they don't import enough, therefore we're their piggy bank. Explain that logic to me.
Because we're giving them all the money. We're not. They're not giving us anything.
So we buy things from them, and they buy less from us, and there's a trade deficit. So you think that trade deficits are bad?
And they lie about their currency.
So I just want to clarify. You think that trade deficits are bad?
Well, I think it's unrealistic to have them to not have like one on either side. But
so if you have a massive trade deficit with an entity, that is bad, and the entity is ripping you off.
Yeah, in most cases, yeah.
Okay, so you buy goods from your grocery store. Does your grocery store buy goods from you?
No.
So therefore, that's bad, and your grocery store is ripping you off, and you should stop buying goods from your grocery store.
Wait, but that's different though. Wait. Because that is you going into a grocery store. I'm talking about when you have two countries, right? And you have a country who lies about their currency. You have a country who...
So lying about currency is a whole other issue. We could address that, but right now we're specifically talking about you saying that a trade deficit exists, and that's bad, and that's them ripping us off. So stay on topic.
Yeah, it's unfair. Can you at least admit that?
Okay, no, actually I won't. Okay, is it unfair that you have a trade deficit with your grocery store?
No, but I also am not
So
in a
then why would it be
power.
unfair that we have a trade
No,
deficit
no.
with
Well,
China?
okay. Well, here's the difference, right? The U.S. is the best nation. It has the most consumer power,
So
right?
then,
So we
wait,
have the
if
leverage.
we have more consumer power than China, that means that our consumers spend more than Chinese consumers, right?
Yes, and then they rip us off.
So
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
if American consumers spend more than Chinese consumers spend, this would imply that we'd have a trade deficit with them.
We do have a no. They well, yeah, we do have one with China.
And you just explained why. Our consumers spend more than theirs do. Of course, we'd expect a trade deficit to exist.
No, here's what I'm saying. The U.S.
Wait. How can you deny
we have
that?
all this leverage.
No, I just want to clarify. You just said no. Our consumers spend more than their
Well, yeah,
consumers.
we
So
have a
we
trade
spend
deficit,
more
yeah.
money than they spend. What does that imply? A trade deficit. So are you saying that our consumers should spend less?
On their products, yes.
Okay, why?
Because they're ripping us off. They are.
So you're just calling a trade deficit a ripoff.
No,
Ripoffs are bad.
That's not the
What
only reason.
bad?
they're ripping
I
us
know,
off.
but we're talking about this specific reason. What is bad about a trade deficit? What is the negative consequence that it results in?
What's bad about this trade deficit is that we could have it much lower if they just allowed us to sell in their markets as we allowed them to sell in ours.
So them disallowing American products to be sold in their markets to a higher extent than the opposite?
They make it extremely hard.
That only hurts China. That does not hurt
No,
America.
it doesn't. No, because they make everything there too.
How does
they
that
make
hurt,
everything
how
there
does that
too.
hurt America?
Because we get less money from China.
We get less money from China because they spend less money on American goods. So the reason why this doesn't hurt America is because this just means that that Chinese consumers end up spending more on goods produced by Americans, so they buy less. Okay? You, me, everybody in here, we all have a trade deficit with our grocery stores. We all have a trade deficit on anything we spend money on. Trade deficits imply no necessarily bad things. On top of that, would you say if a trade deficit is bad, that then a trade surplus is good?
Wait. I never said a trade deficit is like crazy bad. I'm gonna
Yes,
use
you did. You said it was a
example.
ripoff.
Wait, no. I'm gonna use your grocery store
Is a trade
example.
surplus good?
Yes.
At what point in American history were we at the highest level of a trade surplus?
I'm gonna just assume right now.
No, during the Great Depression.
For other reasons, though. Wait a minute. The Great Depression did not happen because we have a trade surplus. That's not how that happened.
But I said the point in which we had the highest level of a trade surplus was during the Great Depression.
Yeah, but how do these two correlate? We're talking about them ripping us off. You're talking about how
Because you're saying that a trade surplus is a good thing. If it was such a great thing,
It is.
how come at the level when we had the highest level of a trade surplus, we're at one of the lowest points in American history economically
because
speaking?
we kept on loaning out money to people who didn't pay their bills, so the banks had no money, and that was part of it.
So if we wanted a trade surplus, it would have been worse.
I feel like it was. I don't think that had any effect to it. It's just because we were loaning out money to people.
Wait, if a trade surplus
and they didn't pay it back.
Wait, if a trade surplus doesn't have any effect on an economy, why would a trade deficit have a
I mean,
bad effect?
no. I mean, effect on why the Great Depression happened.
So, but it did have an effect on the economy. So, if we weren't in a trade surplus, the economy would have been worse.
Probably.
Dude, you idiot. Okay, here's the big
Can I
issue.
go back to your grocery
Here's the
store
big issue.
example?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What has happened every single time we've historically increased tariffs on China?
I'm gonna assume they just raised theirs.
Yeah. And actually, in Trump's first term, it ended up bankrupting American farmers. And then also, I don't even know why you hyperfixate on China. I don't know. How about every other country on earth? What percentage of our imports do you think that China accounts for?
Well, he's going to every country too. He just got the UK one.
What percentage of our imports do you think China accounts for?
Well, I guess like 10%.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Right around 10%.
Yeah.
Do you think that China's our largest importer?
Importer, definitely one of them, but probably not the biggest.
No, they're not the biggest.
Nah.
Mexico and Canada are bigger. Why did he tariff Mexico and Canada?
Well, didn't he claim it was for the fentanyl on the border stuff?
Dude, I'm really sad I got to kick you. You can't say that word on TikTok. But I'll still respond to the claim nonetheless. So, he claimed that he imposed tariffs on Canada in his like first 3 weeks to get a better border bill, but then he backed down from those tariffs, even though they never got a better border bill. They're still operating on what was passed last December. But then he re-implemented those tariffs. He backed down again, and then he re-implemented those tariffs again on Liberation Day, and then he backed down again. So I don't think there's any clear reason. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Actually, I just wanted to get on because I haven't heard anybody say this to you. You're young, you're intelligent. We may not think the same way, but I appreciate your vigor in how you debate people.
Oh, hey man, I appreciate that. That's incredibly kind of you. American asshole.
Well,
you should change.
nobody said it to you. I haven't heard anybody say it to you before, so I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
You should change your name to American Sweetheart.
Well, there's actually a reason that my name is American Asshole. It's a brand that I've started, and you yourself, being an American, standing up for your morals and your values and your rights and your beliefs, gets you called an asshole by certain people who don't want to listen to you. They just want to prove you wrong. So that's kind of the whole point about being an American asshole. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with facts.
Well, hey man, I appreciate you for your kind words, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Okay. All right, moving on to the next guest, everyone. Go ahead and just give us a minute. Teen allowing commercials now? Yeah, he hit a pretty good segue there. W him, I guess. Hey, Julia, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. I do really appreciate you so much for the love, Julia. As well as Sid with the $10 on Venmo, saying that that hasn't posted since 2014. Crazy stalker energy, so real. And then also Laura, thank you so much for the $100 donation on Venmo. Laura says, keep up your good work, sending love for the corners. Love you. Laura, that is so incredibly kind of you. If everybody could please show some love to Laura down below in that chat right now, that'd be so awesome. Everybody, spam W Laura down below for the $100 on Venmo. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Laura. What's going on? Can you please turn off the second device?
Yeah, I did. I had to hop on my main account because I was on my dad's. So yeah, I did.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Echo? Echo? Sorry, there's an echo.
Bro.
You either got to fix that or I got to boot you.
Is it good now?
Test? Sorry, man. I booted you because of the echo. I'm sorry. I truly am. Truly am apologetic. Truly am apologetic. You know, we've been talking about like tariffs for the last 3 hours. I want to talk about fascism. You know? Who wants to talk to me about fascism? Who wants to talk to me about the Constitution? Ash, what's up? Do you support Trump? Okay, Ash is
Hello?
Joseph, how old are you? Joseph, you're on pause. You got to be able to see me.
Hello?
Hey, how old are you?
20.
How old did you say you were?
20.
20?
Mm-hmm.
In what world?
And this one?
What year were you born in?
2005, January 25th.
Did you drive?
No.
No. Okay. What's a mortgage?
A mortgage is when you make a down payment on a house, and then you have to pay the mortgage every month to continue owning the house. If you don't pay your mortgage, you could get kicked out.
I'm sorry, man. Minor safety. I'm going to kick you. I don't believe you. Always got to be cautious, man. Always got to be super cautious. If you're in that queue, let me know. We'll get you up here for a conversation, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, Victoria? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Nice. Do you support Trump?
No. I actually want to talk to you about something specific.
Victoria, I'm so sorry for kicking you. We are just looking to debate some Trump supporters. As well as like we're probably going to be a little bit more cutthroat with this just because we only have time left for like maybe one debate. So what's going on, Ghosty? Do you support Trump?
I don't anymore, but I learned a lot from you, man. I shouldn't have voted for him.
Hey, man, I think that's awesome that you could admit that. And you have a chance to vote better in the midterms in the next general election. You're the best. Appreciate you. Good for that guy. Good for that guy. Good for that guy. Really good for that guy. Really good for that guy. I love seeing that. I do, quite frankly. Love seeing that. All right, we have time for one more debate. We have time for one more debate. One more debate. We have time for one more debate. Quite frankly, that is the truth. Hello, Anthony. Do you support Trump?
Hi, yeah.
How old are you?
Don't mind me. I sound like a 12-year-old boy. This is my boyfriend's phone. I'm a girl.
Okay, how old are you?
Yeah. I'm 23. I was born 2001.
Great, awesome. So why do you support Trump? Actually, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Are you a patriot?
I would say so, yes.
Do patriots support the Constitution?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Trump doesn't support the Constitution. He's infringed it a lot. He called for its termination in December of 2022, and he's now telling ABC News reporters that he doesn't know if he has to uphold it, and he is willing to comply, or unwilling to comply with an order from the Supreme Court ruling his deportation of Abrigo Garcia to be illegal and unconstitutional. So why do you, as a patriot that supports the Constitution, support a man that does not support the Constitution, actively infringes upon it, and doesn't know if he has to uphold it as a president of this country?
Because my boyfriend is in economics, and he's been telling me that the economics are good. I've been doing my own research about tariffs. I know you don't really want to talk about those.
Right. Okay, let's just assume
yeah.
real quick that Trump is good for the economy. I disagree. So does the Institute on Taxation and Economics. They tell us that every American making under $395,000 per year will have less purchasing power than they had before his election. Before his inauguration, given that he implements his economic policy. But hey, assuming that that's not true, assuming he's good for the economy, fascism and traitors in the Oval, a fascist traitor to the Constitution in the Oval Office is okay, if and only if eggs are cheaper.
No, I don't think that.
Okay, so then even
But
if
I
Donald
don't
Trump was good for the
think
economy, seemingly you
that-
still want to be justified.
I don't think that he's a fascist. If he were a fascist, I believe that the other parts of the government would have impeached him by now.
So they impeached him twice during his first administration. Hey, so real quick, you said that you were 23, born in 01?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I should have been a little bit more delicate about that math, because that math does not math. I think.
Why not?
Well, I guess I should ask. What month were you born in?
March 31st.
Okay, so your birthday would have already passed. Yeah, I don't think that maths. You would have been 24.
Oh. Okay.
Guess moving on. Guess we're moving on. Let's see how much time we have left. Another 20 minutes. We got 20 minutes, everybody. 20 minutes. One last debate is what we're looking for. If you're a crazy MAGA, if you're a Trump-supporting lunatic, USA eagle-screeching, gun-loving, truck-gunning motherfucker, go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section, and we will get you on the live to have the very last debate. Somebody says hashtag border USA. That's right. Hashtag tariff. Let's go. Please never do that again. That was painful. I'm sorry, bro. After I don't know, like 3.5 hours, I start to lose it a little bit. I do. I start to lose a little bit. So user 96904110411490 said in the chat, quote unquote, "You're hiding, coward." This seems like a good conversation. Hello, user 96904110411490.
So you finally want to step up and answer a farmer's question. When you're lying about farming.
Oh,
yeah.
You're who I want to talk to. You're who I want to talk to. Let's go. Lay it on me. Why do you support Trump?
What are you doing? It's not about supporting Trump, Biden, anybody. It's what makes me better. And you're lying about farming.
Okay. What have I said about farming? That's a lie. I don't think I talk about farming all too much. So I don't.
China, we can't sell anything to China in our stuff. They won't do it. We can't sell it into Canada. Oh, go ahead. what's the tariff
Let me
in Canada
let me
on our milk?
let me take a guess.
What it
Let,
because
let me
go ahead. No, no, no,
let,
no. Let's go, Dean.
let
Come
me
on. Well, I'm gonna do your thing. What's our what's our tariffs on milk in Canada? Oh, come on. Get it out. Don't no. Let's not switch this out. Let's go.
It sounds like
What is it?
It sounds like you're the
It's
one getting it out.
240%.
Sounds like you're the one getting it out, Gramps.
I'm gonna just do like you do.
Let me ask a question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you a soybean farmer?
Yes. I do corn.
Do you want to know?
And I do milk.
Do you want to know how I knew that?
I do pork.
Do you want to know how I knew that?
You don't know anything.
I knew that you were a soybean farmer.
You said
I
do. I'm
would,
a farmer. I do all of it. You don't know. You're guessing about farming. Where'd you grow up, dude? Where'd you grow up? Where do you live?
I spent
What'd you do? You didn't do anything.
Colorado.
You didn't work.
Red County.
You played video games.
Oh, dear God.
That's all you did.
I've been working since 13, 14, sir.
What'd you do?
Software development originally.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
you
even
didn't
joking.
work. You sat behind a computer. You didn't work.
I made money when I was like 14 to pay my mom's bills.
I did too.
I'm pretty sure that's work.
But I worked. You're playing. That's all you
Sabrina,
guys,
thank you
that's
for
all
the
you're
14
doing.
Canadian dollars over on YouTube Super Chat, saying how many beers? At least 5. Thank you for the love, Sabrina.
That's all you're doing.
Do you think I work right now?
No.
Oh, okay. So this isn't a job. What is a job?
Well, okay, I'll give you that. You're
Was that
getting
easy?
money.
It was that easy?
You're getting money, but you're not working.
Oh, so what's work? What's a job? Define it.
You're-
Emily, thank you for the $5
you're
on Venmo. I
wanna-
appreciate you for the love,
You
Emily.
want to pick at Trump. You want to pick at Elon Musk. You want. What about Nancy Pelosi? Is she working?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No,
Not
I'm.
Nancy Pelosi.
I'm not
Nancy,
political.
listen, sir. Nancy Pelosi.
Listen, Linda. We can do whatever we want.
Listen, sir.
When we got the game, right?
Listen, sir. Nancy Pelosi's a shining example of what an American should
She's
do.
half dead.
She is a
Like
shining
Biden was.
example. Like you.
Okay, let's go.
Like you.
Let's go.
Like you.
You are the. Did Clinton do the bad thing just like Donald Trump did?
Dude, I wasn't fucking.
No, stop. Yeah, you weren't even born. You're
Jada,
right.
thank you for the $20
But
on
you're
Venmo
still
saying that
doing
we
that
love you, dude. I
same
appreciate you,
thing.
Jada. Everybody show some love to Jada down below in that chat. Everybody please show some love to Jada. Yo, could you say W, Jada, for the $20 donation on Venmo?
Just to. That's what I'm saying. What's so funny about you? You're like trying to do everything on one. Oh, that's funny. You're drinking out of the same glass I am.
I'm going to throw this glass away now. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. But it doesn't matter about political things. That's what you guys quit doing this. It's not about political. It's not about right is right and wrong is wrong. And yes, Trump has done things wrong.
Is
Clinton did things wrong.
fascism wrong?
Fascism is allowing illegals into the country. Do you believe in unions?
So I do believe in unions, and you're about to ask me if allowing...
Okay, but no, okay.
You gotta let me get
now
5
you're
words
saying
out.
we've got to have illegals in our country.
You gotta let me get my words out.
You gotta.
Quite frankly, you gotta let me speak. Quite frankly.
You got it.
Do you believe in another glass?
I'm gonna try to speak like Biden did for you.
Do you believe in another glass?
Love him. See, I can play that game too.
Do you believe in another glass?
Do I believe in another glass?
Don't worry about it. Serenity, thank you for the $20 over on the YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for the love. Serenity for the $20. I do really appreciate you for the love. As well as Celia Sam for the $25 over. I do appreciate you so much for the love.
See, I can do that like your game. You and Parker are the same. You can't talk.
Christina with a
You can't
$15
talk.
donation. On
You want to talk?
Oh, and I'm back. But Christian, thank you for the $50 on Venmo, saying getting me through BBL recovery. Oh man, dude, I don't know, man. The only ass
I don't
that's
know,
getting
man.
sore
Either. I
here is
don't.
his.
If you want to have you want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I can play the game. That's what I've seen.
Okay.
I had it. How long did it take me? Because you wanted to talk to people, and
I feel like you
that
probably
don't know things, and you're like belittling them.
Did
I
you-
don't want to belittle you, but if you want to do that, I can do that. That's what I'm doing.
Did you also
Or I
play?
wanted to have a conversation, and you were telling me farmers. No, I'm a farmer.
Did you also play this game with your ex-wife?
You want to ask my ex-wife?
No.
Here.
No.
Here.
No.
Come
Please,
on,
no.
Dean. Oh, see? I'm okay. That's my ex-wife. Talk to her. Oh, now see, don't play into your narrative. Does it, you little boy?
Do you live with your ex-wife?
Yep, she's my ex-wife. And you want to ask her? I've been married twice.
And I'm the second
And they're
one.
both crazy. So let's go. It's okay. And she laughs about it. See, that's the difference between a grown up man and a little boy like you. We can say this stuff and we can joke about it. Okay, yeah, rub your head. Oh, but you know everything. You know, see, you want to have a conversation or you want to try to you're trying to belittle me. I can play that game all day long too.
I just can't believe it.
Oh, cover your mouth. Oh my! Oh.
I just like.
Thank you for the $15 donation. I don't need donations. I made money. See, again, that's the difference.
I said that like
I
as
work
like
for my
as like a
money.
dig,
I don't get
but
up
then it
here
ended up just
and
being
go.
true.
Thank you for money. Thank you for money. I actually work for my money.
Speaking about
You
that,
don't.
Silius, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Go
much for the
ahead.
love. Thank you for the love,
I'm
Silius.
glad that you
And then
get all that.
Jada with the $15 on Venmo saying, I think Grandpa's ready for his
love
nap.
that I work
So
for my
real.
money.
Danielle with a one.
Again.
Oh, dude, putting up with you is a full fucking time job. I'd pipe down. Thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. Your favorite. I do really appreciate you so much for the love. As well as Dale with the $50 over on PayPal. And then Linda with the $20 as well. Everybody, please show some love to Dale and Linda. And I didn't see this earlier, but Brianna, thank you for the $50 as well. Guys, thank you so much for the love.
That just
that is
just
so incredibly
proves
kind.
the other
Thank you
thing.
so much.
I
It
love
is
you.
incredibly kind.
I
You
love
guys are
unions.
awesome. Thank you
But
so much
oh
for
my
the money.
God, we want the illegals to come up here and farm.
Camellia,
because
thank you
you
so much for the
can't-
$10 on Venmo. Same clock as T. You got it.
I love it.
Hey, user.
I don't need illegals to take care of our farm. We do it with machines.
Hey, funniest part about it.
Hey.
Sir, can I speak now?
No, because I'm gonna do like you do. That's what you've been doing.
Okay, is this like a form of
I can
therapy
play
for
your
you?
game.
Get drunk, yell at young men on the
No,
internet?
I
This is
can
it?
play your game.
Is this like
You want to be a little kid?
in game,
people?
be
I can speak
85,
over
get
you.
drunk, yell at young men on the internet? You know, I'm being really
That's
nice
why
to
you've had forever.
I've not muted this guy yet. I haven't. My patience is.
I'm glad. Go ahead. I'll go all day long with you like you are.
Malka, thank you for the $12 over on PayPal saying this is too funny. It's something, for sure. Thank you for the $12, Malka. That's incredibly kind of you. Hey, user, you said that you don't need quote-unquote illegals to do things for you. I'm guessing you define an illegal as somebody who breaks the law. Donald Trump has committed 34 felonies. He broke the law when he illegally deported Abrigo Garcia. He broke the law when he raped Eugene Carroll. looks like you want an illegal to do a whole lot for you, Mr. User 96904110411590. Quite frankly, I have a feeling like he's not going to unmute himself.
You dox
wow.
people. You dox people. That's why I keep my name private.
I don't dox people.
You and Parker and I know you don't associate with Harry anymore now. You called him out.
Are you?
That's okay.
Are you a big fan of his?
No.
You know, I don't know why.
But you were.
I've actually gotten like.
But you were a big fan of his.
Here's something.
You all were.
Here's something
you
about
and Parker and Harry.
Here's something about Harry. Okay, I'll tell you this. For whatever reason, his streams.
Thank you.
Always
for admitting. No, I really like that, Dean. Sorry. I know I'm getting. I really like that you came out.
Grandpa, you know.
You really came.
Grandpa,
you came out and said. You didn't like what he did.
Listen, Grandpa.
Stop. I'm trying to make something. I really like that you came out and said you didn't like what he did.
I appreciate you for the compliment, Grandpa.
But I didn't like what all you guys were doing for the longest time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not about Republican, Democrat. I want our America to be better. So whatever it is, I was a person that wanted Ross Perot. That was the first because yes, I wanted to look for people. I was okay with Obama. I didn't like some of the things, but I just want to do things for America. That's all I.
Allison, thank you for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Serenity, thank you for the $20 as well. Brian with the $25 on Venmo, and Oscar with the $11.11.
Fighting.
Okay, let's get back to the debate. Let me speak for 30 minutes. 30 seconds. Okay, so here's the issue. Earlier, you told us that you're a farmer, and I lied about farmers. And like China, you don't export anything to China. So I asked you if you made soybeans, and you said yes, and there was a reason why I did that. So the reasons why I knew if your exports to China are low, it means that you produce and export soybeans, is because in Trump's first administration, he imposed a lot of tariffs on China.
Absolutely,
imposed retaliatory tariffs on us and bankrupted American soybean farmers. And seemingly, you felt the repercussions of that yourself. That was Trump's doing. That was Trump.
You brought up the thing about Toyota. And I'm going to tell you, because like you said when I brought up something, you were too young. You didn't know that. Do you know why Toyota is in America?
No.
Because of tariffs. And they said, if you want to make trucks, you have to do this.
Who's that?
And go look up who was the president then.
Who?
No, you tell me. Because you're the political, you push all this stuff. So no, I'm old enough.
Okay, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna do a gotcha moment on you. I'm gonna do a gotcha moment on you, Gramps. Yeah. Would you ever support a president that willfully and intentionally let a violent offender out of jail for beating up a cop?
Well, since there's been a lot of presidents that have done that, that's what I'm saying. It's not about Republican, not about Democrat. I don't agree with any. Would you let me get? I'll get you. You're doing that. I got a gotcha moment for you that you've hung your hat on.
Do it. Give me Gramps.
I love it. Is abortion okay?
Yes.
Is death penalty okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you're okay with both of them?
Wait, you asked me two questions there?
You're okay with abortion.
I'm okay with abortion.
And you're okay with the death penalty?
Oh, the death penalty? No. I'm against the death penalty.
Oh, so you're okay killing somebody, but you're not okay with killing somebody. I got your moment. Bing, bing, bing. I'll be like you. Bing, 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 bing.
You didn't get me. Because I'm okay with killing the fetus because it doesn't have the ability.
It's a human. It's not a fetus. It's a human.
What is a fetus? Oh, you're not an adult.
So-
You're human. You're not an adult. You're human. You're not an adult. You're human.
I was a fetus.
You're not. Those 9-year-olds. They're not children. They're humans. They're not children.
So,
they're human. That
okay,
newborn. They're not a baby.
okay,
they're
let's
human. They're
talk
not a
about
baby.
this.
They're human.
Let's talk
It's not
about
a fetus. It's a human.
Let's
It's not a
talk
fetus.
about
It's
this.
a human.
See, that's why I did what you. Let's talk about it. When is it okay to kill a baby?
Until the age of 2.5.
Oh, so you're okay?
That was a joke.
Killing a baby.
That was.
No, I ask you seriously.
20. Just 20.
I'm not trying to be flippant. I'm asking you because you're saying fetus.
20 weeks.
When is it okay?
20 weeks in the womb for elective circumstances. 20 weeks in the womb.
Okay, I'll go with 20 weeks. So what are everybody freaking out if they want to let the states choose things? Because there are states out there that say they're going to let it go longer.
How would you feel if
and you're still fighting back?
Hey,
against
Grandpa,
that.
would you be freaking out if like the right to buy beer and whiskey went back down to the state level?
Why can people go to war at 18?
Oh no, you serious?
But not buy.
Oh yeah, you
alcohol?
serious about that? Be serious about that beer, man.
No, I'm trying to.
How would
if
you
you're
feel?
trying to do that?
How would you feel if the right to buy beer went back down to being legislated by the state, and then all of a sudden 1 out of 3 adult men didn't have the legal right to buy beer?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. My mother was 18 years old, and my father, when they got married, he could buy beer, and then it went up to 21 the year she was legal to buy. See, this is the thing. Again, I'm not trying to be. You are so far. That's happened. That's happened.
Yeah, so like
People can go to war and die.
So you'd be
And you're-
pissed.
but now you can't.
So
you
listen,
can't buy
listen,
cigarettes.
listen to what I'm
You
saying.
can't buy vapes.
That's actually,
can't-
I agree with that legislation. It prevents it from being sold to high schoolers by high schoolers. Now,
Well, okay, but wait. Okay, then a 14-year-old kid you want to put in a trial because they did something bad as an adult. They're a 14-year-old kid. They don't know. So see,
okay.
I get
now,
it.
Now we're
if you're
really,
going to try to protect
now
kids,
we're really getting off topic.
if you're trying to protect kids, and I appreciate what you said. You don't want kids to smoke. I appreciate that. But then you got to protect the kids that can't
You want to know some
know
crazy
the
shit?
right.
Yo, Peepaw, I want to know some crazy shit. It was actually Trump who.
Peepaw? Who is Peepaw?
You.
Please tell me.
That's you.
Is that what you call your grandfather a Peepaw? Well, that's weak.
No, I call.
Thanks, Dean.
I call my grandpa.
I get that you're trying to insult me. That's not an insult.
Honestly, I don't even think it's supposed to be an insult. It's like.
Well, you're trying. That's why you said, "Okay, Peepaw."
Okay.
And you turn your head and swim.
Okay, gentlemen. Did you know that it was Trump who federally mandated the age to smoke to be pushed to 21 during his first presidency? And if you vehemently disagree with us, seemingly it is Trump who is the tyrant.
Again, I said it's not about Trump. It's not about Republican. It's not about Democrat. It's about right and wrong. You're the one that's fighting that. I said this many times. You're wanting to go after Trump, trying to bring
Why
up
am I
like
wasting my time?
Trump supporting.
Why am I doing this to
Because
myself?
you're getting distracted because you're just so focused on.
Traceless, thank you for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you for the love, Traceless. Anthony, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. And then Kristen, thank you for the $50 on Venmo for the crypt. Let's go, Kristen. Thank you for the $50. Let's get at least 500 Kristen W's down below in the chat. 100 Anthony W's, as well as 200 Traceless W's. Thank you guys so much for the love. All right, listen here, people. Listen here. I gotta go. I gotta end my stream. Do you have any final words?
Yeah, you gotta go because I'm trying. Just stop this argument.
No.
What's the best thing for? Do you think that everything that Joe Biden did was great?
Every decision made by any Democrat ever is the best decision possible. In fact, they are
Oh,
invaluable.
so you're okay with Clinton? What you just said there, you're okay that Clinton raped Monica Lewinsky with his power over her?
Sacred. Thank
You're
you so
okay
much for
with
the
that,
$10
but
over.
you
I
weren't
appreciate you,
okay
love.
with Trump paying for sex. Oh my
Okay.
God,
So-
that's so crazy. No, you got to go. Remember, you got to end. See, good God, that's what I'm saying. Do you see how stupid that sounds? You're okay with every decision. Where was
listen.
John Kennedy in that?
I would
You got
like
Democrats coming out
to
saying
inform
that John
you.
Kennedy was not a good president.
I would love to inform you that I was joking.
I'm not. I don't. I was trying to have a serious. You want to play the games. I don't want to play games. I'm just trying to have a serious conversation. If that's what you want to do, and I just got you a moment like you wanted to, and that's what you got mad about is I caught you because you said something, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna back off. I was joking.
So you think I like seriously?
Stop it, Dean.
So you think I seriously?
Grow up a little bit and
So
if you want to have serious conversation, have serious conversation.
You think that I seriously meant that I think everything
You
any Democrat has
have
ever done is
you
perfect?
said it out there. I can pull it up.
Stop.
That's why I said
stop it.
I told you it too. Like I said, I really appreciated you coming out against Terry when that happened. You said you didn't agree with that. You didn't.
If you're against harm against women, how come you support a rapist?
Well, if you agree with not harming women, how do you support Clinton?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Okay. That's fair.
So how come you do? How
How
come you support Trump, a rapist?
I don't. I'm telling you, I support some of these things. I support some of Clinton's things. It's not about See, you say you're all about Democrat, and it's showing on you.
Serenity, thank you for the
You
$10
said
on you for the $10 on YouTube super chat saying least productive but most hilarious conversation. Yeah, this shit's kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. Kristen with another $25 over on Venmo saying, "Okay,
You're a coward. That's why you're doing this whole thing about reaching out and all people, and that's okay with me.
What? No, I think that the best argument that I'm a grifter is like literally keeping you on the live. Because like this obviously isn't a productive conversation that's changing anybody's mind. Like not even like viewers. Like this is like
because you're not honest.
What?
Yeah. Well.
I think I'm gonna drop you now. Have a good one. Have a good one, dude. And there's somebody in the comment section spamming Dean lost, bro. What? Yeah, that was just pure entertainment. Traceless, thank you for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat saying Grandpa told me to donate another 20. Let's go, Gramps! Hell yeah. Thank you so much for the love. Traceless. Shout out to Traceless. Dude, somebody was spamming Dean lost. Y'all gotta be joking. I gotta see who this is. They were just spamming Dean lost. I was gonna end. I gotta see who this is. How could you possibly say
hello?
Oh. Hi.
Okay, first off, I'd like to state this little rage bait tactic of using multiple facial expressions is not going to work on me. Okay, so I have more conscience than most of the people in here. And before we do debate, wait.
Why are you guys so insane? I'm gonna lose my damn mind. Why are you like this? Wait, I have a question. Was that the last guest? Was that your father? Are you the grandfather? Are you the grandson? That was Peepaw, your poppy? Whoa!
No,
that's not what I meant.
Wait.
That's not what I meant to say. Come on.
No. he was like kind of cookie, but he like wasn't intelligent enough to get the words across. That's all.
Okay, all right. You support Trump. So why?
Yes.
Give me an argument. Give me an argument.
Okay, wait. First, before we debate, I'm gonna give you a few rules. If you interrupt me one time, I win. If you rage bait me at any point, it's a like probably an instant win for me.
You're trolling.
No, I'm not. I swear to God.
That guy's a troll. That guy's a troll. That guy's a troll. Okay. All right. Hey. For those watching, we are gonna go to the end for the night. We finished off there. With two last pretty entertaining guests, I should say. For everyone watching, make sure to hit that follow button if you're on YouTube. Drop a sub and hit the like button on the live. Wild stream today. I will see you all tomorrow. I love you all so very much. Peace, love, and goodbye. For everyone on YouTube, I say bye to you last. Peace, love, and goodbye.